Am I live? I think so. Hey guys, I just wait. I'm starting a little bit early. If I'm live, let me check. Checkity check, check, check. Checkity check, check, check. Checkity check. Okay. I think I'm live. Hey guys! I'm on time. I'm not on CP time today. I'm pre-CP time. Oh shit. Like, oh my god. Let me see. All right. Who is this? Lisa Rose. Hey. Hey, Gus again. Hey, Sam. Hey, RJ.
Who is
Hey,
this?
Richard.
Hey, Gus again. Hey, Sam. Hey, RJ.
Wait, let me, it's a little bit delay. All right. Peachy. What's up, Peachy Princess? What's up, girl? How you doing? Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome. Thank you. Four Corners Kids Club. Hi. What's going on? I'm going to do like a few minutes. And then I'll get down to business. Kiss Marie, Florida. Is that where you're from? Is that a place? Kissemery? Big Giant Monster, what's up? Sash Max 21. Hey girl. Hey girl back. This is a genocidal campaign. Wisdom trek. Hey ZX. Where's that bitch ass troll that was trying to shame me from not wearing a mask? I want them to call in. I want to talk to them. I can troll back. I ain't afraid of trolls. Most of those people too, I realize, that say stuff in the comment section, they don't have the gut. Like, I wish they'd come and say that stuff to my face. I wish, because I want to see their face when I, have a response. I know, man. I know. I mean, sorry, I should say who I'm responding to. Peachy Princess. I can't believe people aren't seeing the signs of what's actually happening. I know. It's just like, at this point, like, how do people realize this is not about a virus? It's ridiculous. I can kind of understand the beginning stages, and and there are people that are waking up to this, but we need to get on the ball. I mean, there are people that say you don't need everybody to wake up. You just need a significant amount of the population to wake up. So I don't know how many people are awake and how, it's all over the world. So, yeah, I don't know. Did you guys know from the start that this wasn't about a virus, or is there somebody that, like, you thought it was about a virus, and then you're like, wait a minute, this ain't about no virus. You're like, wait a minute. Were you scared at first? I was scared at 9/11 first. I did. I bought into it. I drank all the Kool-Aid. And then after the fear died down, I was like, wait a minute. This is some bullshit. Fucking box cutters and magic passports. This doesn't make sense. The real less traveled. I ordered a mask that says Hitler required compliance too. Can't wait to see the dead-eyed fluorinated stares I get. I know, right? You should get one with the big old swastika, like, right on your mouth. That would be funny. Be like, hey, I'm complying, right? From the very second, serenade me from the very second. Then I got scared for a bit, and then I was like, hell no, yeah, hell no, or no. Like I was like, yeah, no. Sorry, misread your comment. Yeah, from the very beginning. I think I had been seasoned though. I see the game that they were playing. I don't know if you guys remember, like last year they tried to, make this fake measles like outbreak, and that's how they passed the laws illegally. I don't even think everybody in New York was behind it to make vaccines mandatory for kids in school because they faked this measles outbreak. And the news got caught faking a picture. Like, first of all, there was nobody, like, they couldn't find anybody dying of measles, right? People don't die of measles in first world countries. And then, they had this picture of a doctor holding a baby with measles. And then somebody found that they got it from a stock photo company and just painted measles, like Photoshop measles on the baby. And you look at the picture, you're like, why is the doctor, like, why does he, he's holding this baby with the measles and he doesn't even have gloves on. It's really contagious, right? Anyway, they're getting sloppy. They're getting so sloppy. But at the same time, like, there's some people that are so dumbed down that they can't even see simple shit like that. So, anyway. All right, so Russian vaccine, yeah, it's bullshit either way. So they're going to be the first ones to kill their people, to genocide their people. Congratulations, Russia. I was reading, I forgot somewhere, I was in a comment section, and there were people that were like, well, I wouldn't trust a Russian vaccine. I'd only trust, like, American vaccines. And I was like, ew, you're still stupid. You're still dumbed down. Like, yeah, how about no vaccines? How about none of them? Like, no vaccines from anywhere. China, Russia, America, they all have bad stuff. Americans always experiment on their own people. You don't think that they're going to do that now? Like, come on, man. Like, wake up. Like, wake all the way up, please. And then Kamala Harris, yeah, that bitch. I ain't fucking voting her because he's black. I honestly don't think, I just think it's really going to encapsulate the people that are already going to vote for Joe Biden anyway. I think by this time, people that have jumped ship from Joe Biden, they see through his games, they see through the Democratic Party's game, or they see through the whole voting game. They're either not going to vote at all, or they're not going to vote for Biden, and then the other people that are going to vote for Kanye West. Like, I think Kanye's still doesn't matter, because it's like, do you want this person that actually, like made it harder, like was responsible for having black men stay in jail? She wants to pretend like she cares about black people so much, right? And she was a terrible person, and she talked smack about Joe Biden, like he was a horrible person. Yet he picks her. It's clearly a chess move. It's not even because he likes her. And there's some people that are going to be like, oh, well, he's all senile and crazy anyway, so if she dies, at least we'll have a female president. Or if he dies, or goes senile, at least we'll have a female president. She'll probably stab him in the back and try and say that he's senile and he's not fit to run, if he were to win, and she'd take over anyway. And she's great because she's a total globalist puppet, and she's a witch, and she'll do whatever they want. So, this lady's liberty. Russia has much stricter food manufacturing rules and GMO bans than we do. Yeah, so, like, we don't need vaccines. I don't know if you're new. I'm not trying to, I know I just snapped at you, but, we have, I don't know, an immune system and vitamins and minerals and, I'm a terrain theorist. So whatever you put into your body, that's what determines how healthy you are. Vaccines are totally unnecessary, okay? So I'm a hardcore anti-vaxxer. If you're just tuning in, if that offends you, y'all better bounce, because I don't even beat around the bush. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm an ex-vaxxer or I'm pro-freedom. I'm like, vaccines are bullshit from the jump, okay? So I won't be taking one. If people want to, they can, but I wouldn't take one, any place, any country that has that's high in government, that relies on, people to regulate their products, I don't trust. I don't care if they have stricter guidelines and stuff. I don't trust them, because they can always be corrupted, because, money corrupts. power corrupts, and there are people in the elite that want, like 90 plus percentage of the population dead, right? Speaking of which, oh my God, please pray for China. There's a huge dam. This is not even, I didn't even hear about this. My friend told me about this. But there's I think it is the largest dam in the world. It's called the Three Gorges Dam. And it's on the Yangtze, I don't know if I'm saying that right, the Yangtze River. It's about to burst. And if they don't get it under control, I heard like it will kill an estimated 15% of the whole world population. Like millions and millions and millions and millions of people will die. Millions, land will be destroyed. Animals will die. If you don't care about people, you must care about animals. It's going to be awful. So please pray that they get that under control. I know that we're fighting against China now, but we're really fighting against China's deep state. I love all people all over the world. They're Chinese people, the regular common folks. They don't have anything to do with this. They're victims just like we are, in this whole like globalist fight. So yeah, it's really, really scary. All right, I think I'm gonna start taking calls. Oh wait, I picked up my phone. That's not it. All right, so give me a second. Let me turn on the Skypey, as my students would say. I loved it. They'd be like, hey, teacher, do you use the Skypey? I'm like, yes, I use the Skypey. And they would be like, the Skypey. And then I had an adult student that I used to teach the year that I taught adults. She'd be like, I like the Facebook. Do you use the Facebook? She would always say the Facebook. And technically she's right, but it's funny because we don't say that. So she'd be like, the Facebook. Anyway, I'm just cracking myself up at this point. All right. Yes, pray for all the suffering worldwide. There's so many people that are starving. We are so blessed, you guys. I know that we're not, we're having our trials too. We are so blessed, you guys. Still, compared to a lot of third world countries, they're not getting aid. Their crops are being ruined deliberately. I would say this is by design because of this fake ass virus hoax. And, borders are shut down. People with serious autoimmune diseases are not able to get their medicine on time. So a lot of people are dying just because of that. And, if you watch my channel long enough, I think I think autoimmune diseases are already created or man-made, with all the vaccines and all the chemicals and stuff that, pregnant women eat and, that we put into our bodies. And the electromagnetic frequencies. It's not like autoimmune diseases were not nearly as high as they are now. Like, most people are on at least some kind of medication, whether it's, anyway. All right, let me, 512-481-7464. 481-7464. Fuck. I can't type. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. I remember this time. Oris McKay. You don't need to use Skype if you live in the U.S. You should be able to call this number from your phone. There's some people that live outside the U.S. and I think I told a couple of people ahead of time they could, I'll look out, they'd have to look me up by the email and then call that way. You said Candy Serenimi. I guess you're talking to somebody else, but you're saying your pediatrician went vax his own kids after he started doing research on them. That's cool. That's cool, man. Like, good for him. Good for him. So obviously he told you because he's really like, yeah, man, I don't even vaccinate my own kids. And that's messed up because that's really messed up because, they're doctors in the health freedom movement and scientists who have had their own kids that have been damaged because they didn't know. They even know. They know to make them. There's a guy, if you ever watch The High Wire, there was a guy that worked for Merck, which is a top pharmaceutical. They have a lot of lawsuits going up against them right now, but they're a top pharmaceutical firm company, and they have the patent on the MMR vaccine. Other companies have, like, they give a singles measles vaccine or mumps separately, but the MMR is mumps, measles, and German measles vaccine, rubella. And they or Ebola, anyway, forgot. Anyway, shoot, I was lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so there was a guy that actually worked for Merck making vaccines, and he had 4 children, and he didn't vaccinate them, his own kids, and he made the vaccines. That was his job. And he actually was interviewed on Highwire. And he was friends with the district attorney in San Antonio, which is maybe about, how far is San Antonio? Is it San Antonio? I think it's about an hour and a half south of Austin. If you're not a Texan, you know how far that is. But anyway, the district attorney's son is severely autistic in San Antonio, and he actually came out, and he was like, yeah, I have this friend from Merck, and he actually made the vaccines, and he was just like, you can't even like, convince me that the stuff is healthy for me to put into my own kids, and I make them. So what does that tell you? And also, the lowest vaccination rates are in Silicon Valley. Did you guys know that? Look that up. The article is still probably around, because what they did when they wrote the article, they tried to spin it and be like, oh, well, these people, like, they try and say, when it came out that most people that don't vaccinate are highly educated, like master's degrees or higher PhDs that work in Silicon Valley, then they try and spin it and say that they don't remember, like, vaccines are too good for their own success. They don't remember the horrible days of polio and smallpox, which, I have an opinion on that, but that's how they try and like shut that conversation down. But when I when I was in these vaccine groups, when I start to research this, we actually had a lot of people that were doctors and scientists and stuff, and that's where we got a lot of our inside information. So they want to just make it like we're stupid and nutcases and we don't know what we're talking about. But thank God for those people, those whistleblowers, the people that give us information, because without them, we wouldn't have some of the information that we have. It takes people from the inside out, the inside too, to help. So 512-481-7464. Vaccine my butt. That's right, Renee. Yes, I'm unable to work with children in public school for not taking flu shots. It's totally out of control. This Ladies for Liberty. Yes, girl. I knew they were coming after the teachers with the vaccine stuff. Yay! I got a call. Wait, oh shit. Shoot. Hello.
Hey, Truther, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this? This is a troll. Let's argue. Come on, let's get it down.
Huh?
I'm just kidding. Who is this? What's your name?
My name's LeJean.
Oh, hey, LeJean. Hey, LeJean. I was like, are you a troll? Let's get it on. Okay, I'm making notes. All right, I'm gonna start the timer in case but you know what, and if I start to get a call, if I get other calls after that, then I'll take that. How about that? So you have 10 minutes at least, huh?
I said that works for me.
Okay, because I tried the timer thing and it was bad. I wasn't.
I know
really.
every time I talk to you, I overdo it. I feel bad.
Everybody overdoes it. I'm not.
I know the other guy was too long. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. What's going on? What you want to talk about?
Hey, a couple things. First thing, you see this POC that Joe Biden just picked to be his VP.
Mhm. Yeah.
Best choice he could have made in his cabinet. Bravo, but you really are out of touch with black people. The funny thing is, you did this to try and keep the black vote, but you just guaranteed you just lost the black vote by making Kamala Harris your VP, because you're being attacked by both not the left but the right. The left don't like her because they consider her a cop, and for the things that she did, which I said to you a few months ago, like about a year or so ago, right before Tulsi did, about how she was, because I'm still here in California, how she was like getting evidence that people were innocent, but because she didn't want to mess up her conviction rates, which were pretty high, because she was locking everybody up for smoking weed, for laughing about it, to put single mothers in jail for because their kids would get to school. She didn't want to mess up that conviction rate, so she would not release these people. It took this liberal state of California, the most liberal state in the union, to tell her, you have to let these people go. We're telling you, you have to let these people go.
Dude, isn't that separating families? She's a family separator. She's a family separator.
Oh, exactly. And then you have another talk about, remember months ago, what about, it was their tagline a few months ago, what about the children? Yeah, what about the children that Kamala Harris made parentless, but she was arresting their parents and put them in jail for truancy.
Separating, there was a lady, I saw an interview a couple years ago where she was talking about what woke her up to some of the stuff that the Democrats were doing was the fact that, like, she was pregnant and, and she had to go to jail. And then when she had her baby, they took her baby away from her, and she was still in jail. She was like, I was separated from my kids, yet these people are screaming about these kids in cages that are being separated. But they don't talk about that. I'm like,
No, they don't. And they don't want to talk about how Barack Obama separated more parents from their children than anybody. Matter of fact, the deporter-in-chief, as he's called. But you don't want to talk about that because he's black, and, black people can never do nothing wrong. We're just like the shining example of what God put on this planet.
I know, right?
And it makes me sick. Every time I walk down the street and I see a BLM sign on one of these buses, I'm like, this is where the brainwashing starts. It starts in the poor communities where I go through South Central, like USC, like all these big billboards that now say racism is a health concern. Just silly shit like that to keep putting people saying racism. You're a victim. You're a victim. You're a victim. You can never count this because you're a victim. You're black.
It's totally They Live. Have you seen that movie They Live, where the guy puts on the shades? It's like that. It's totally that. Hey,
and I want to ask you something too, because you just reminded me. Hey, I came to kick ass and chew gum, and I'm all out of gum. So that's a classic movie. Hey, did you ever check out Demolition Man?
Demolition Man, was that a YouTube channel? Oh, no, I didn't. No, you know what? I bought a few movies. I have not been able to see any of the movies. I bought, I'll write it back. I'm taking notes, so remember it. I'll keep notes. No, I have not. I bought 3 movies.
You told me, I want to watch you with my mom. I said, okay, well, it was a mom movie, but, hey, go for it.
I know, that was a long time ago. I did not do it. I just forgot. I totally forgot. I made a note. I have a movie list a mile long. I have a book list. I'm trying to catch up on my reading list. But I haven't even seen The Joker yet. I bought that. I bought The Minds of Men from True Stream Media because I want to support them. I bought the Elizabeth Kennedy movie. I have at least 5 movies that I bought that I'm I'm looking at right now, and I haven't watched those. I haven't watched movies.
Hey, I want to also hit you before because you're going to get a bunch of calls, all right? Because everybody loves talking to you. Hey, because I know there's a couple of Comic Gate guys in the comment section, because I'm a Comic Gate type of guy, and I'm not sure you know what Comic Gate is. So
what is that?
I'll explain it to you. Huh?
You said Common Skate?
No, comic, like comic books.
Oh, yeah, Comic Geek. Comic Geek.
No. Yeah. But it's called Comic Gate, like gatekeeper.
Oh, no, what is that? So what's that?
Okay, it's like a little thing that basically there was a few years ago how in the industry they noticed that they started going a lot of diversity and they started talking shit that they were going through our society. It was really starting in comic books.
Wait, hold on one second. I'm losing you. Either you're getting far away from the phone or something. I don't know. Okay, so start over.
Maybe this is better. Okay.
Start over.
Okay, because I had a headpiece on. I was trying to be slick. Okay. So a lot of writers and artists who've been working in the comic book industry for 20 years or so, they started noticing that there was a new agenda being pushed through the comic books, hey, let's make Spider-Man gay and let's make him black and all this shit. When that started happening in comic books, instead of just leaving these traditional characters alone, you wanted to feminize them, you wanted to turn Captain America into a girl, all this type of stuff, and a lot of them didn't like it and they spoke out about it, and a lot of them lost their jobs and have been ostracized in the industry. So what they did was they started, that's what I'm doing right now. When I told you a week or so ago that I do my own comics, they started doing their own comics and started doing crowdfundings and started, killing the industry because the industry started being filled with all this propaganda in the books. Like, I can tell you right now, in DC Comics, which they're the ones who create Batman, Superman, they had the audacity about a couple months ago to put out a book with the Joker. Now, I'm sure you know who you just said you were going to see this movie.
Yeah.
The Joker. Okay. They were putting out this thing with the Joker and Darkseid. He's like this real super evil. He's like the original Thanos. If you saw the Infinity War, he's like Thanos times 1,000. All right, he's that bad. All right, they had it where they were behind some campaign bunker where, okay, we're getting all the Donald Trump people together. And Darkseid is like a god of evil saying, yes, we will get Donald Trump to run this country. And, just putting this propaganda in comic books.
Like, literally, they're putting that,
They literally put the Joker and Darkseid, the two most evilest characters in DC Comics, as agents of Donald Trump to influence the masses to vote for him.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, literally put the Joker saying. Matter of fact, the Joker had a Donald Trump puppet on his hand, laughing, saying, "We're gonna trick America and vote for Trump." I mean, I'm like, you really are missing. And people started seeing it. They started putting these agendas in the comic books and started speaking out about it. Well, we come to find out, the reason I bring it up is because we found, and just put a little entertainment into your show. We found out about a week ago that there's a little network called the Whisper Network, which was a bunch of women who run a lot of these companies now, where you start saying, oh, women aren't represented, this and that bullshit. They're running these companies now, and that's why you're starting to see a lot of bullshit politics and the shit that you like, that was never there before. Because women now run these industries, or they're in high positions in these industries, and they're putting their personal bullshit out there, like Star Wars, for prime example. Because I'm sure you know about Star Wars. Okay, there was a woman named Kathleen Kennedy. She took over Star Wars, and she started coming. I mean, people have been waiting like 30, 40 years to see a new Star Wars movie, right?
Yeah, she used to. She would produce stuff, I think, with Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, she was like a secretary or some shit like that.
She's a high level producer, but yeah, I know who she is. Yeah. Yeah,
she made her way up, and she worked with Spielberg. Well, they gave her this big task of running Lucasfilms. And one of the first things she starts spouting when she became the head was, the Force, which if you know Star Wars, the Force is what pretty much drives the Jedi and the Sith, it's like it gives them their power. They're chi. So she starts saying the Force is female. And people were like, what the fuck are you saying? The Force ain't female.
The Force is sexless. What are you talking about? The Force don't have no sex. It's the Force.
Exactly. She was pushed. She was already pushed. That's why we see the last 3 Star Wars movies, the new hero is a girl. And they just made her. She's called what we call a Mary Sue. In other words, she's so powerful, but she does not. She doesn't. You don't know why she's powerful. She doesn't know nothing, but yet she can kick Darth Vader's butt, even though she's never had a fight in her life before. That type of stuff.
Yeah.
And we found out that these companies like Marvel Comics and DC Comics that spiel out about diversity, kind of found out these companies haven't hired a black in like 20 years, but yet they're telling us, we need to have unity with black people and this and that. But yet you're not hiring blacks, but you're trying to virtue signal to have everybody else hire blacks by force, or else you're racist.
Yeah, totally.
But you're not doing it yourself.
Well, you know what I think too, what really needs to happen is if people feel underrepresented in these movies, they just need to get together and start writing parts for themselves.
Yeah.
And my dad used to say that, huh?
Like Robert Townsend did.
Yes, yes.
And Wayans.
I'm gonna go back. Do you know who Oscar Micheaux is?
Sounds familiar. Tell me again.
He did movies in like the 30s and 40s, and they were like all black movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Oscar Micheaux. That's way back in the day.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, my dad would say that for years. He would be like, because he'd just be like, well, why are we depending on white people or any other person to do this? And it's not even like a racist thing. I just feel like they're not depending on other people to do it. Why are we looking for handouts? I will admit, though, when I was in performing arts schools, it really sucked. When I was in high school and when I was in college, it really sucked to, like, when they would do a musical, to have to take sloppy seconds, because technically the characters weren't written for black people or any other race. But at the same time, there were situations where I was able to trump that, but then it still was an issue because people would make fun of me or had issues about it. But I'm just like, look, I'm in the school, like, what am I going to do? I wasn't in the position at the time to write stuff for myself because, I'm working just as hard as all the other people. I don't want to just have to get an extra role every fucking time they do a play. But, outside of that, like people need to learn about archetypes because all these superheroes and all these main characters that are played over and over again, they're just archetypes. So if you were to take those archetypical personalities, you can create your own character, something like that.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't realize that because I have a question for you. I don't think I've ever asked you this before, so this should be new. Okay, what do you think came first, the Black Panther comic book or the Black Panther movie?
The comic book.
It did. 6 months before the Black Panther movement started, Marvel Comics created Black Panther. Pretty much, not the first, but pretty much
It was in the 60s, right? Sorry, it was in the 60s, right? Sorry,
in 1966. And Huey P. Newton read the comic and was inspired to create the Black Panthers.
Oh,
so
shit.
Black Panther, so that's why Black Panther's always been politically charged, because he was the inspiration for the Black Panther movement.
Oh, cool. That's cool. I knew that the comic book came before the Black Panthers, but I really didn't. And I thought maybe it was like a coincidence that, like the Black Panthers named themselves that, but I didn't know that he was directly inspired by the comic book.
He directly inspired Huey P. Newton because he liked the concept of a black king who rules Africa, didn't ask white people for nothing, because in the comic books, unlike the movies, in the comic books, Black Panther is still a separatist, all right? He do not allow white people to walk.
Oh, really?
See, the movie... Yeah, the movies just try to, we don't want to be like racist. But yeah, that's what it is. In the comic books, he still are separatists. He don't believe in intermingling with, he's not a racist to the point like, I don't like white people. He's just like, I want people to stay pure. I don't want because every other section of Africa fell because they integrated with you white people. So I keep Africa secure and away from white people. And the only ability they have with white people is when they sell vibranium to white people to make money for the economy of the country. So that's still in the comic book. But the movies, which is why I stopped watching the movies, they start putting their little signs like, Black Panther changed his mind and now white people could come to Wakanda. No, white people are still banned from Wakanda in the comic books, okay?
Oh, what? Yeah, I didn't know that. I have to get into that's interesting. I thought the actor, I thought the character, though, was boring. Was he like that in the comic book? I thought it was the most boring character, like, ever.
Who T'Challa?
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever the main guy is.
Okay, well, that's his name, yeah.
He was boring.
Yeah, he comes from a bloodline of Black Panthers, and he's just this incarnation of this generation's Black Panthers.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I thought the character was just really boring because, like, Batman and Bruce Wayne, there's inner conflict, Superman's kind of boring, too. His character's kind of boring.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I mean? Like Lex Luthor and other but yeah, I think Bruce Wayne, like Batman's a little bit more like for a good guy, his character's better. But the Black Panther dude, like I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, because he's rich, he's a king, he's got everything. I mean,
he doesn't,
he's not wanting for nothing.
Yeah,
everyone in Africa wants to screw him. I mean, yeah, he's got a babe.
Yeah. That's interesting though. I'm gonna check that out. That's cool.
Yeah, so is someone trying to get in there?
No, I mean, I'll put the. I mean, your time is up. Your time is up, but we can still like.
Okay, chat.
Here, I'm gonna just 481-7464. I'll put it out if somebody else wants to call.
Okay.
But then I gotta go because your time technically is up. But then then I just realized too that I'm just waiting around,
Yeah, because I was doing something when I saw your alert, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call her, but I was like playing a video game, trying to finish a level real quick. And when the thing I see on your post picture that's for the page, it just shows you looking bored. I was like, oh wow, she looks like she. So that's why I said.
I was trying to wait for people to get on so I can talk. But I have a question. What is your I think video games are cool. I don't have time. I'm way behind. I'm like last video games I played was Nintendo. But the culture seems like it's really toxic, especially for kids that, they just talk crap about each other and they're so mean. Have you experienced that I mean, it's an adult, it's going to affect you differently, but if you play video games.
As a kid, I mean, I could see how it could be considered toxic because, you got a lot of shit talking, like, especially when you got guys who are on headpieces. Because I talk guys, they play games like when I used to play NBA Live. Like I'm in LA playing with the Lakers. There might be somebody in San Antonio playing with Mavericks. We're talking crap like, hey, F your stage, all that stuff. I mean, yeah, it's kind of toxic, but that comes along with the territory.
If you're a kid and you're playing these games and stuff and you're on the headset and you're in this, I'm just thinking, because my friend was saying that her son, and actually a couple of friends' sons, they were just like, you know, they just say they just
Oh,
rag
yeah.
on each other, and it's kind of like there's really no support. Their friends are just cocky, and they insult each other all the time, and not like in a playful way, not like snaps and stuff, but they really like. It seems like they don't really have any compassion for anything. You know,
Well, no,
they're just
especially when they play these like murderous games, like Call of Duty
yeah.
and like Modern Warfare and stuff like that. I mean, kind of because in the games there's a lot of shit talking. So like when girls play, like because there's a big thing about toxic male toxic all that bullshit toxic shit. Well, they say it's towards girls when it's really, I mean, that's just how guys talk to each other. So when a girl plays, yeah, she's gonna get some of that too, but they think they're directing at her because she's a girl. No, it's like because you're playing against me, so I'm gonna talk crap to you.
Got you. Yeah, because I haven't asked I have a girlfriend that loves to game too, and she's in her 40s, and she gets paid to like game sometimes too. So she's like hardcore. But I'm just
so she
kind of
talk shit back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she does. But like I'm just kind of wondering too. I've been thinking about like just the culture for kids that are developing, and especially with the social media culture where people can just text stuff. And I was looking at this there's this Louis C.K. stand-up where he's talking about like how when people send texts to each other, how they don't have any empathy, or because they don't develop empathy because they don't see each other's faces. So for somebody that's a little bit older, that's developed, it might not be bad for you, but I'm talking about kids that have been playing these games since they were little, and they they don't have any empathy. They don't really they don't have a chance to develop that, especially if they're on they're online all the time. So
they don't go outside, they don't do anything, so all they know is online. So if the internet would go down, they probably jump out the window.
Hey, let me let you go. I'm gonna take this other call.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
All right,
Thanks to John. Later. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, hey, what's up? Hey, just checking you out. One thing that I think no one ever talks about.
Wait, who is this? Who is this? What's your name? What's your name?
Or whatever.
Wait.
Like, why would feminists totally be hell bent on getting their way inside of a video game? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, what's your name?
Well?
Yeah, what's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. my name's Abby.
Huh? How do you spell it?
Abby. A-B-I.
Okay, Abby. Hey, what's up, Abby? All right, go on. So go on.
Yeah, I think this is like a preemptive strike against religion, because basically, if you look at leftists, they treat religion as someone else's religion as a fantasy. So basically, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to set rules in fantasy, so that way, a little bit further down the road, they can set rules in what they consider a religious fantasy. You dig?
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Well, have you ever read postmodernism?
Yeah,
or got into that? I was following Jordan Peterson for a while, and I read that book, Postmodernism. And basically, that's what you do. You create, like, you flip everything upside down and create this fantasy world, and there's no logic to it. So then that way they think you can change. People in the bottom that are involved in this, they think that they're changing stuff. But people at the top know that that's just going to, like, rip the threads of society apart.
Yeah, well, like, really, like, why should you care what someone else's fantasy life is about? And video games are fantasy. I play a ton of video games, and they're fantasy. Why should someone else's doctrine go in your fantasy? That doesn't make any sense.
So you're talking about me? What I was saying about video games?
No, just generally. Video games are fantasy. Why should anyone care if there's sexism in someone else's fake world?
Well, there's sexism in the real world. I'm talking more about I was talking about children and how they're developing, and if they don't have any other experiences, I don't think that it's healthy for them to be playing violent video games. And like I've seen some of my kids that have developed that have played video games since they were younger, and how it's developing their personality in a negative way. But you're an adult. You're an adult, right? So But have you been playing video games
Yeah,
since you
but
were like
I was
5?
playing video games. I've been playing video games my entire life.
Yeah, but like, do you play like the type of video games that they have now, where they're also communicating with other people via headset? Like, when did that start for you? Did you start that as a kid?
Oh no, the games that generally the video games I play don't they have a chat function, but not but I don't really get into the headset function. But even if that's the case, I mean, if you look at sports, that's always been the case, you know.
Oh no. Well,
in other words, you play team sport, you're going to try to dog your opponent out verbally.
yeah, but it's not. It's a little bit. It's a little bit more than that. I'm noticing. It's not like, It's. I'm like, I don't know how to like. There's a difference between shit talking, because I'm not saying like I should talk to my friends. I should talk when I'm doing jujitsu with my classmates. But I think that when you're a kid and you're developing, and that's like, okay, I'm saying, like, to me that's the only form of communication with another person is shit talking. Do you shit talk to everybody that you know? Do you do that all the time? But if you're a kid that's all you know, and that's all you do, then I think that's when it gets unhealthy.
Like, have you seen any Muhammad Ali fights from back in the day? He would really.
No, dude, it's not the same thing. Yeah, I know. It's not the same thing.
More than half his fights are psychological.
Yeah, but I mean, are you gonna put a 10-year-old in a boxing match and have him shit talk and stuff? You know what I mean? Like, it's different. I'm talking about developing kids. You're not gonna, you can put a kid in a boxing class, but he's not gonna be having professional matches and shit talking and promoting and shit when he's 10. It's different. I'm not trying to dog video games. I know people.
No, it's definitely in adult context.
Like, I don't think I would let my kids play video games.
Honestly, I wasn't watching your stream. I just I got the notification. I followed you because you kind of woke on quote unquote Pizzagate. You know what? And we can talk about that. Like, honestly, Pizzagate. You know what's stupid about Pizzagate? That's like talking about the 7-Eleven, the 7-Eleven store that's on 54th Street.
What do you mean?
It's not one place. It's a multi-billion-dollar corporation that's been going on for thousands of years. Yeah. It's not just this one place. I think if you contextualize it, are you Christian?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't go to church. I don't regularly, but yeah. Technically, I'm Catholic, but
yeah. Read your Bible and read about Moloch. They've been sacrificing children.
Oh yeah. Like that, like
thousands of years.
Whatchamacallit, the Bohemian Grove, right? The owl god, right?
No, but that's in the Bible. That's exactly.
But I mean, like, that's how because I haven't read it yet.
Sacrifice to Moloch is in the Old Testament.
But that's when that. But I'm just trying to relate it to something that I know. Like, but that's also when they do the Bohemian Grove, right? That's Moloch too, right? They're sacrificing.
Yeah, it depends who you ask. From a Christian perspective, you could say the abortion industry is Moloch. Because basically, people would sacrifice their kids for material prosperity. And if you look at the reasons for abortion, that's pretty much what they're about.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep, yeah.
I don't know.
No, dude, I get it.
Like, anecdotally.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Anecdotally, every time I've heard about an abortion, it's like, oh, I can't. What about my career?
Yes, exactly. I was going to take it. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, that's deep. Yeah. When you said that, I totally thought, yeah, go on. Yeah.
Except, well, the thing is, the sacrifice to Moloch, what they would do, it was this huge statue, let's say it's a 3-story tall statue, and it would have these huge hands, and they would light fires under the hands, these bronze hands, and throw the kids in there so they would have material prosperity.
Oh,
Abortion's just a heck of a lot more efficient. But it's basically the same reason. You're going to sacrifice your firstborn child, so that way so that way I could get my career on, I could get my money on. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. From a Christian perspective, all this makes sense. I think it's a mistake from quote unquote us woke people to focus on Pizzagate. That's like what the Catholic Church tried to do when they got busted with all their pedophilia. It was like, oh, it's only this one priest.
No, dude.
Yeah. It's only here. It's only here. It's only here. Until you take this 10,000-foot view and you're like, wait a minute, you're shuttling around tens of thousands of people. This is systemic. And that's I think a pitfall to avoid when trying to wake people up. Don't focus on that one 7-Eleven that's on 54th Street. Talk about the multi-billion-dollar corporation that's there
prolific.
for all to see. In other words, you don't focus on this one priest. Focus on for 30 years they've been shipping around. They would move thousands of priests from one continent to another.
Well, I've seen.
And if it's systemic, then. I'm sorry.
Oh no! If it's systemic, then what? If it's systemic, go on.
Well, if it's systemic, it's a hell of a lot harder to cover up.
Yeah, it is, and people and it's
that's
worldwide.
That's the downside of Pizzagate. Talking about this one pizza parlor, all they have to do is all they have to do is send some guy in, try to shoot it up, and then say, hey, all you people are crazy.
Yeah, but I saw that dude's Instagram. It was foul. It was foul. It was just like, why are all these pizza?
Oh no, most definitely.
I mean, but I guess people. It's kind of like people that were on the verge of looking into it, and then like, oh no, those are people that they're just scared away from anything easily anyway, But I'm developing this course right now, and I have a section where I'm talking about real life conspiracies. And I tried to pick, there's more than 5, but I tried to give 5, conspiracies that turned out to be true. And one of them I picked was the Jimmy Savelle conspiracy. Have you heard about that? The Jimmy Savile?
Yeah, the British guy, right?
Yeah, the British guy, right? So he's kind of like today's Harvey Epstein. And not Harvey Epstein. What's his name? I can't think of his name. Jeffrey Epstein.
I think they might be interchangeable for a reason.
Yeah. I know. Harvey Weinstein. I was thinking Jeffrey Epstein, right? But as I was looking at that info and stuff, I was like, dude, man, it's even more prolific than that. It's so, that's why I think that a lot of these people are fighting so hard, with everything, because if this is exposed, it's going to go so deep. And somebody sent me a video the other day. I don't know who this guy was, but he worked in Hollywood, and he did this movie called A Child's Voice, and it's a narrative talking about all the pedophilia. And he was basically saying that a lot of these women that were out screaming about Me Too, they knew about these children. They knew, and but they chose to remain quiet about that.
Well, the thing about Me Too is it's like the casting couch. I'm not in Hollywood. How come I know? How come the term casting couch exists?
Yeah. Because a lot of women slept for big roles. It
takes someone to lie down in that couch. You know what I mean?
Well, I think
it goes both ways. It's transactional.
Yeah, I think there were women that were raped, but there are also like a lot of these women that were already famous, that were late A-list stars. I'm pretty sure that they willingly slept with a lot of these high-level producers to get their roles. I've even had women, because I'm from LA. I was born and raised in LA, and I've heard a lot of stories. And I've even had girlfriends of mine say that if they needed to sleep with somebody to get a role, that they would do it. Like unabashedly.
Right. Now, and the thing is, like, Me Too doesn't speak on that. If it wanted to be taken seriously, it should.
I know. But but there's.
In other words, there has to be a buyer for what you're selling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But but there are people too, I would say, younger people, innocent people that, that do come to Hollywood with stars in their eyes, and they do get raped and they get violently. I think that does happen, you know, when people are just like, oh, you know, like I had a couple situations where I was naive. Thank God it could have gone the wrong way, but I was just super young and dumb and just, or it was in a couple of situations where if I didn't think fast, that could have probably happened. But, and I've known people that has happened to. But like I said, there are also a lot of women that, you know, they want fame and celebrity, you know, they'll abort their baby. They will, you know, sleep with producers. They'll do anything. They don't care. They just want fame and power. You know, they don't care what they have to do to get it.
Look, like Kamala Harris, she slept her way to the top. Where's the Me Too on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I heard that, yeah, too. She was like Willie Brown's. Willie Brown.
Yeah, with the mayor, with Willie Brown.
Yeah, San Francisco, right? San Francisco, Willie Brown. Yeah.
Yeah, he straight up said like, "Yo, I gave her a shot because she was giving it up." You know, like.
Damn. Wow.
So where's the Me Too should speak on that.
Yeah, but Me Too is not an authentic movement. They're not interested in you know, they just threw Harvey Weinstein and they just threw some people under the bus to make us think that we got the problem solved, but it's way, way more prolific than that. You know, it's way.
That's called a limited hangout.
I just learned that word the other day. Sorry.
You cut your losses so that way you can keep on doing stuff.
Yeah, dude. Why did you get into Pizzagate?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What happened?
No, I said I just learned that word the other day, I said I just learned that word, limited hangout, the other day. But I wanted to ask you, why did you get into Pizzagate? Why? That seems like, I think everybody kind of has in the truth movement or whatever, they have something that they're drawn to. So why are you drawn to the Pizzagate thing?
Because, and I'm going to mention this, just pray to Jesus Christ before you read this, if you look it up. The transformation of America. The transformation of America. And it's, according to the author, it's autobiographical of a sexually trafficked MK Ultra sex slave.
Oh, Kathy O'Brien?
And amongst the people, yeah. You read it?
Yeah, I
only read half of it.
I'm sorry.
I didn't read the code words because I don't want to know. You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't want to know how to do the black magic. I just want to.
Well, I mean, it would be good to know so you can protect yourself from it. But I saw her testimony. I saw her testimony like 2 years ago.
I'd be tempted to use it, man. No, man, no.
Why?
I don't.
Well, I mean, like but the thing is, okay, so I had a podcast since 2011 with my friend. That's how this channel started. And we interviewed a guy named Fritz Springmeier. Do you know about his work? He wrote Bloodlines of the Fritz Springmeier.
I think I've heard of him.
He wrote Bloodlines of the Illuminati. And then his next book was talking about how they make a mind control slave. And they usually have to abuse these people from a very, very young age and then set those code words into their head. So if you haven't been primed for that and you read it, you probably will be okay. But these code words are set in to set stuff in truth.
I don't want the ability to be able to use them.
Okay.
I don't want to know the black magic spell. How about that?
Okay. I mean, I think you know what's being used against you. You have a better chance of defending against it. You know.
Well, the
know thy enemy.
Well, the thing is, I'm coming at it from a Christian perspective.
Okay.
It says our battle is not against flesh and blood. Our battle is against principalities, rulers, and powers in the heavenly places. And basically, like, horror movies are really, from my point of view, they're a lot like leftists. Leftists are generally really good at identifying problems and then horrible at giving solutions to those problems. So leftists will say, hey, there's inequality in this world, or there's racism in this world. So let's destroy the nuclear family. You know, that's horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
There is racism in this world.
Yeah.
Well, the horror movies do the same thing. There's demons in this world, so let's pray with holy water. Let's pray in Latin, take out holy water, and shoot it with the machine gun. That's not how it works. The only thing that kills demons are angels and the God Almighty who commands them.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm coming from. I don't defend against this stuff by picking it up. I defend this stuff against this stuff using my authority in Christ.
Okay.
He said if the least in my kingdom, I give the authority to trample snakes and scorpions. That's the least, and that might be me. So that's how I fight against it. But speaking of but how I got into Pizzagate, yeah, I knew about that stuff before, and then when the emails got released, I started looking into it, and that's and that's how I got into the whole Pizzagate thing, quote unquote. But I knew about satanic ritual abuse and all that stuff way before that. And
yeah, I've actually had a couple of friends that were born into that, so it's terrible, man. It's terrible. I know that stuff exists. It's unreal, like to even think that people would do that to their own kids, because a lot of these people that are in these, like it's their own children. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
No, well, there you go. Sacrifice to Moloch. Yeah, no, this has been around for a while. There's nothing new under the sun,
Yeah, so do you think that this is going to be exposed?
You, sister,
go ahead.
Seek Christ, and he'll guide you how he wants you to congregate. He will guide you how he wants you to congregate. But just don't get it twisted. There's if you're coming up against demonic stuff, the only way you win is with angels on your side and the one who commands you on your side.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Abby. I think I have another call. Let me see if I can take this.
Oh, right on.
All right.
Right on.
Thanks for calling, though. Huh?
You know what? It just wanted to mention, there's 40 people watching now. I do not doubt you have 28K subscribers. I'm really glad I got in now, because you're going to go up to like 300K, and then I won't be able to get in without giving you a super chat.
Well, I'm demonetized right now, so I can't get super chats, and I'm knock on wood, every day they're taking channels down, so I'll be on BitChute if I'm not here, because I'm, every day is a day I'm thinking they're just going to take my channel down, so anyway, but thanks for calling, dude.
You'll be all right.
Yeah. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. I lost that call. Who called? Call back. Oh, let me see. I got a missed call. Maybe I can call them back. Let me see. Let me try this. Oh. Okay, hold on. Background. Okay, no. Can I call back? I try to call. Oh, okay, let's try. Anything calling a number? All right, so who just called me? I tried to call back, and now they're trying to charge me. I'm not paying extra. But I guess I had to call a number, not another Skype. So it was 972. Who was calling 972? Area code. Please call back, 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. I missed it. I lost it. I'm sorry. 972, whoever's calling. Call back. Hello?
Yeah, Lord, that was me that called.
I tried to call you back. I'm sorry. Who's this?
My name is O. I'm from Dallas.
What's your
I
name?
live in Houston right now.
Your name is what?
O. My
Oath?
name's O. I live, O.
O-A-T-H, like promise?
You said what?
Like promise, oath?
No, like O, like you know, O element, OP.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
the letter O,
Okay. Oh, just O. Okay, got you. What's up, O?
So much of gas prices, but like I'm in Houston, and like this whole thing about like not being able to like utilize the libraries and stuff like that, like it's killing me because you know I'm studying, like I'm trying to go to medical school, and I'm studying for this MCAT, and it's hard as hell to study at home in Panera. So I go to the library. Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to stop the other call. Go on.
Okay, so I called the library, and they said that the judge issued the order to close all the places. And I'm just like, do judges have that constitutional authority to shut down places like that? That just doesn't make sense. You know, I thought governing bodies, like judges are not governing bodies, are they?
No.
Like this shit.
No, I mean, I don't think.
Don't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Are you in med school or are you trying to get into med school? Are you saying like for the MCAT?
Yeah, I'm trying to get into medical school, and you know, and I'm kind of like leery about it because, you know, like I don't like this whole, like, since the advent of this whole corona shit. You don't mind if I curse, do you?
Oh, have you been watching this channel? I curse like a sailor. I don't care. I don't care.
I gotta be respectful.
Oh, that's sweet. I appreciate it. I don't care. Say what you want.
Yeah, so since the advent of this whole shit, I'm just like, this whole thing doesn't make sense to me because, like, you know, like fast food, like, okay, so they say like the Cytokine Storm and all that. The Cytokine Storm is just over-inflammation. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of, you know, due to our diet, a lot of us are chronically inflamed.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like, you know, you have inflammation, your body puts it out. You know, your body kind of has, like, I guess, like, quote-unquote, water. You'll put out the flame.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, we eat some bullshit or go through some stress, and then that pours gas on the flame. Then our body has to put it out again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you eat fast food, like, that adds, like, fuel to the flame.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if they're trying to keep people healthy, why didn't they close the fast food restaurant?
I know.
You know
Tell me about it, especially
like,
in the liquor stores. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like the whole fact that, you know, we can't go anywhere, and they got us in a constant state of fear.
Yeah.
You know, so then our adrenaline is high. That's more inflammation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not scared of this shit at all. Cause I'm just like, you know, I tell you, I like my mom's a nurse, so, you know, I got into the whole, you know, natural side of medicine,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a couple of years ago, because I just don't really think that chemicals, like, I mean, it's poison. Like, you know, when your body takes a drug, it has to detox from the drug.
Yeah.
You know, so
mm-hmm.
that's a poison. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, my mom, she used to make fun of me and all that stuff. Like, she's like, oh, you eat herbs and all that shit. I'm like, yeah, but, you know, I'm good. I don't really get sick. The only times I've got sick in the last couple of years is if I'm very, very stressed.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, now that I know the mechanism of illness, I mean, that makes sense. You know, when you're very, very stressed, you know, your energy production is shifted towards your immune system, but, you know, you're trying to keep yourself alive as well. So, you know, you don't have that energy to fuel your immune system. So because it's fueling your skeletal muscles. You know, the whole fight or flight phenomenon, and all that shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it thinks a tiger's chasing you, but, you know, it's really that you're extremely stressed.
And that causes
Now, that's
inflammation too. The fight or flight response it keeps you constantly inflamed, you know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I don't know, like, with all that said, like, and then the whole thing about, like, oh, don't go to parties, and I'm just like, you know, the way they're manipulating language, asymptomatic, what the fuck does that mean? Asymptomatic
Healthy
means
people?
you're healthy. Like,
Yeah.
hello?
Yeah. It means you're healthy. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that we're asymptomatic for. You know, like, if you, and this whole test with the, you know, with the reverse PCR or the reverse transcriptase PCR, all they're doing, they're looking for like a remnant of a protein, and then they find the protein, and they amplify that shit. You know, and it's I mean, like if they were doing antibody tests, then I'd be like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
But even if they do antibody tests and they find antibodies and you're not showing symptoms, that means your immune system is working like it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
So like this whole thing about how they manipulate language and all that stuff is very dangerous, and it's setting a very dangerous precedent.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't like to say people need to wake up, because you know that's kind of just like everybody said, oh, wake up, you're a sheep, you're a sheep, you're a sheep. People need to fucking think. Think about what the fuck they're being compliant to. You know, like this shit is just, I mean, this is the stupidest time to be alive. You know, and people are lazy thinkers. They don't take the time to research.
Yeah.
They don't take the time to learn different things, and I don't know, I'm just.
You're frustrated. You know, what kind of doctor do you want to be?
I want to be a pediatrician.
That's cool.
You know, I love children. I mean, I love people, but you know, children are just pure. I would, you know, like I think I can be an OBGYN too, because like I think I think just with our society and our social structure, I think a lot of women are at risk for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially like women in childbearing age, because you know that goes back to the whole energy thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you go through a cycle, your body's breaking down a whole bunch of things, but it needs that energy to like build it back up.
Yeah.
You know, but like if you know, like a lot of, and especially a lot of young black women are stressed the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know.
And we use relaxers. A lot of people use relaxers, and that makes us prone to fibroid tumors and stuff. That's I believe one of the reasons why black women have fibroids.
Exactly, and you know, like I've known a lot of like middle-aged black women that had to get hysterectomies, and I'm just like you know, it made me mad because you know it's just another form of sterilization.
Totally, yeah. Totally. You know, I have a friend. Totally. I have a friend that got fibroid tumors, and I guess I have to make my disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not giving medical advice. But she researched how to get rid of them naturally, and she wasn't able to have kids, and then she got fibroid tumors, and then they wanted to like give her hysterectomy, and she was like, "No, I'm gonna have a baby." She got rid of that shit with apple cider vinegar, and now she's about to have her second baby right now.
Yeah, like.
But
like and stories like that, like you know, it's a joy to hear, because you know it's like the medical industry, they lie. You know, they just sometimes they just want to admit like I don't know. They just want to say I don't know. You know, instead like doctors will say like, well, there's no hope for you and all that shit.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I think it's evil as hell. It's a lie. I don't know.
Yeah, but they tried to give me a hysterectomy too, and I fixed my problem, and maybe I'll talk more about it in detail in the future. But I went through a horrible experience too, because I was like, you know, I was having issues, and first of all, I went through 6 doctors before they found out what was wrong, and they tried to make me feel like I was crazy, and I was making shit up. That pissed me off, and then we finally found out it was wrong. Then they were like, oh, well, we just need to like, you probably just need to get a hysterectomy. I was like, hell no, you know. So that's why I'm also really adamant on people doing their own research, and especially when it comes to medical issues, don't take no for an answer, and don't take, like the only answer is we're going to have to poison, cut, and burn you to make you better again. Whether it's radiation or some kind of horrible drug, or, removing a part of your body. I had a friend that was having some issues, a friend's friend, sorry, that was having some issues, and they removed her gallbladder. And after it was done, she did research and found out that she didn't need to have her gallbladder removed. And now she has all these other issues, secondary issues in her body now because she had her gallbladder removed. It's just like,
Yeah, that's gonna throw a hormone production off. So
Yeah.
she can't metabolize those fats
Yeah.
like she's supposed to. So, the medical industry, that's why I've been saying like when Obama passed that Obamacare shit and it made everybody get insurance and all that shit, I'm like, this shit was not a good thing. Why? Like, I'm not, I'm 30, I'm over 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started college on time and all this shit, but I just went through a lot.
Yeah.
And for the work, for like all the work and the suffering and the sacrifice that I've been through, why the fuck does somebody have the right to come up to me and tell me that I have to treat them? Like, they have a right to my labor and services. I'm like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You'll probably breeze through medical school too, since you're more focused now. You know what I mean? It's probably gonna be really easy for you when you get in.
I hope so, cause like this shit is like I'm just tired. Like, I just want to live my life, start my practice, and just I tell people like I'm not trying to change the system. I'm just here to give people options that they try to kill people that change the system, and I know that's just a way to make people fearful to actually like be different and stand on their square or quote unquote stand on their truth. I don't like using that term because it's not I mean, it's the truth and everything else, So people say, your truth, my truth. Like, I'm just saying, like, it makes people afraid to stand on the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But like, I'm not a dude that likes attention and shit like that. I just like to see people win.
Yeah, of course.
So like, I want to be the person to give people another option. I'm not here to change the system and all that shit. But
I think by doing that, you're inadvertently going to change the system for the better, because you're going to give people options, and when people know that they have better, healthier options with less side effects and more benefits, then it's going to change the system. You know what I mean? So I can tell that your ego's not involved. You really genuinely want to help people. And it's going to be up to you can give them options, but it's still going to be up to the people to like take advantage of those options. But I think it inadvertently like change the system. I want to take this next call after, but I want to give you some book recommendations if that's okay.
Yeah, cool.
Since I know that you're pre-med, that you might like. Have you heard of this book, Dissolving Illusions? I'm trying to hold them up. I hope you can see.
Yeah, by Susan Humphries.
Oh shit! Oh, how about this one? This is for everybody. Neil Miller's Critical Review Vaccine Studies. Have you heard this one?
Nah, I ain't heard of that one.
It's a good reference. How about Inventing the AIDS Virus?
Hold on. You said, all right, hold on. After Susan Humphries, which one are you recommending?
It was, I'm holding them up so you can go back and you can look at the tape. You can look at the video when it's done, right? It was called Neil Miller's Review Critical Vaccine Studies, and the next one was Inventing the AIDS Virus. Peter Duesberg. Your Body's Many Cries for Water by Batman Kalesh. And Vaccines Are Dangerous. Vaccines Are Dangerous by Curtis Cost. And Goodbye Germ Theory. I don't know who, Tribbing, William P. Tribbing.
Oh, I'll check those out. And,
you might have to buy them. Because I doubt they have them at the library once it opens, but you can probably get them used or maybe on Kindle for cheaper. But anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, one more thing before I go, and I know somebody trying to get on. Like, for all those people out there that don't understand how vaccines work, in theory, vaccines are supposed to make you quote unquote asymptomatic carrier. So if being an asymptomatic carrier is so fucking bad, why are they trying to hold people out for the fucking vaccine? Like, none of this, all this shit is stupid. Like, don't take the vaccine. Just walk around, eat your vegetables, drink your water, say your prayers, and be nice to people, and you'll be fucking okay.
Yeah. No, dude. Thank you so much. Good luck with everything. Oh, let me tell you one more thing. Do you know who Robert Scott Bell is?
No, I don't know what that is.
He's a friend of mine, and he has a show on health, and I think you'd really dig it. And he used to, he wanted to be a doctor for a long time, and he's a homeopath now, but he talks about medical stuff and health and all this stuff that you probably dig it. He has very interesting guests. He's really patient. If you're, I'm just trying to give you inspiration since you're an aspiring doctor. I think that's someone that you might really dig listening to if you have time when you're multitasking or do something. He has a show he goes for 3 hours a day, like every day, like 6 days a week. So you might want to. It's called Robert Scott Bell. Yeah. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
And bye-bye. All right, who was calling? Call back. Call back. I want to save space for the person that was calling back because I wanted to if you're listening, I got some people in the comments section. One person was like, this dude's on point. And then another person was like, good caller. He will be a great MD. So. Hello? Who is calling? Call back. Call back. Hello?
Hello. Christine?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? This is Christian. I called you, I think you had a show a couple weeks ago.
Hey, Christian, what's going on? I'm really keeping track of who's calling.
Not much. Are you just pretty much talking about anything, just random stuff? Or?
I try and have a focus point, but it never works. So yeah, you can. I mean, I talked a little bit about. I know there was somebody in the comment section. They wanted to know what I thought about the Russian vaccine and Kamala Harris. So I kind of addressed that before I started taking calls. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you can talk whatever. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was just going to mention the 4 things I've got kind of highlighted, just random stuff. But you were talking about the Moloch, the Bohemian Grove and all that. Mm-hmm. One of your callers had called about that. That ceremony that they do, it's called the cremation of care.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they sacrifice their consciousness or their conscious, to so they can go make their fortune, where they don't care about people, where it's only about themselves, and it's just a ceremonial type of thing. So that guy was just trying to clarify that a little bit.
Okay, got you. But isn't the person Moloch or the statue? Isn't that
the owl god is Moloch?
So because they have a big old statue that's huge,
right,
and that's where they
called Moloch. It's an owl god.
Okay. So Moloch is the god, and the ceremony is called the cremation of care, where they sacrifice to Moloch.
They're sacrificing their conscience.
Well, why is Moloch there? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be confusing. I'm just trying to clarify. Why do they have him there? He's just hanging out?
I didn't hear what you said about that. Why did they have it, or what?
Why is it there? Why is the statue of Moloch there when they do the cremation of care? He doesn't have anything to do with it, or?
I mean, isn't it purely pagan? I mean, it's an old thing that has been suppressed. And it's been hidden, and we know that so many world leaders have taken part of it. Yeah. And it's obviously some sort of a cabal. I mean, what else would you call it?
I'm just trying to clarify.
It's something very satanic.
Yeah.
And this is not, people will say there's no God. Well, then why are the people doing this stuff hidden like this, and they've been doing it for decades now?
Yeah, I know.
It's that's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
And usually the people that run the world know something that the regular Joe doesn't know because they're constantly manipulating us. I mean, we talked about, last time I talked about how the CIA and, how they put things in television, the advertising, because they know it works. That's why do you think they spend billions upon billions of dollars in advertising? Because they know how our minds work.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So these people are people who are in power. They're manipulators. They know that the Christian world would not have accepted this sort of thing because the Christian world beat all this paganism back down into the woods where it belonged, because the world had gotten so violent and so evil, and you see us going back to that. We're doing a complete circle.
Yeah.
Where now the Christians are going to be under the gun, and they just like I said, you look at the music, the videos, if you look at all this stuff that's the mass media, which is more than just your news media. It's in your sports television programming now where they're pushing, feminism, and they're pushing any sort of left-wing liberal agenda. They push it now on your main sports, where that was the last bastion of where you could go being masculine. Now you can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, and now, but I think the ratings are dropping, right? Like, they're not really getting the attention that they were.
They are dropping, but what's so weird about it is that it seems like they have so much money and they have so much power now that they don't care. That they're willing, look at CNN, MSNBC, their ratings are in the toilet.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to care to do anything to try to really compete with Fox, do they?
No, well, it's not about money for them, though. It's about control. But I'm saying I think that's a good thing that their ratings are dropping because people aren't watching them. So they're not having the control that they want because their control comes with people giving them their energy and attention.
And that's true, but when you add up all those liberal networks together, they do have an impact. Their individual ratings may not be that much, but when you combine, Fox is the only one that you could halfway call conservative. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not like on this whole, like, this is totally all about liberal and conservative,
Well, there is a school of thought that is people are either lean one way or the other. There's always a third group, like in the James Bond movies, it would be like Spectre. Like in this instance, it would be the devil sitting telling one group, hey, on the shoulder telling this person this, and then going over here and telling the other person this. There is a third party that does manipulate, and that goes into my next point. Sorry, I had a piece of chicken in my mouth.
Oh, I heard that. I was like, what is he eating?
Let me take it off. I take it out. So rude.
I don't care.
There's two things that need to be done in order to help get our country back. And until those two things are done, all the other stuff is irrelevant. It doesn't matter at all. And I'm going to try to really get this point home for people to listen to.
Okay.
It's lobbying, which is basically legalized bribery. And the people who have all the money are allowed to legally go up there, wine and dine politicians, put money in their coffers. And so these politicians vote to do what they tell them to do. The Koch brothers, the guy who's the George Soroses, and you can name, lots of other people with lots of money and influence. And they'll actually put money in both parties. But they want them to do their bidding. And until you get rid of that corruption called lobbying and make that illegal, you can never have a government that's formed by the people.
Yeah.
This government that we have now is formed by the corporations. And the corporations are in bed with our government. I think I said last time I told you, everybody thinks it's government or it's either a big business. No, that's not the case.
They're one and the
it's
same.
both.
Yeah.
They're in bed together.
I
They're
totally
helping
agree.
each other out.
But yes, lobbying
ahead.
illegal. So I just want to say this too. But I also think that they're not just controlled by money. I think going back to we were talking about the demonic and the pedophilia and stuff too. They're controlled by that as well. I really believe that there's some evil forces afoot.
Well, yeah, I mean,
In
but what I'm
addition, it's
trying
not
to say
just
is,
money.
yes, you're right. They are, once you have all the money, then it's just about power and control. That's what it becomes about then, because you got all the money, you got all the whatever else you need, so then it becomes about, that's the next thing that you kind of evolve into. But if you can cut the head off the snake, which is to get rid of the lobbying, because it's legal. Lobbying is legalized bribery, and you're not going to have anybody come on the news media talk about it. They never speak about it.
Yeah.
If you cut the head off the snake, and you cut the funds, then the politicians might have a halfway decent chance of not being influenced by all that money.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, okay, let's be real, just for a minute. As much as we despise these politicians, if a lot of us were in their shoes, can you honestly say, you'd like to think that you don't, you wouldn't, and I feel that way too. I like the name of your show, The Truther, and I believe in truth and justice, but money corrupts.
Yeah.
And when somebody's offered tons of money like that to do certain things, most people, most of the time, are going to kind of whitewash it and say, well, if you've ever watched a movie called Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, old movie.
Jimmy Stewart?
Yeah, have you seen that?
I've heard of it. I've seen clips from it.
You would watch it. You should watch it, and you'd love it because it's so relevant to today, what's going on today. And it's about powerful people having too much influence. And so it's very relevant to today. It's one of my favorite movies because it's a really good movie. You should watch it. It's a 5-star movie. But yeah, I was going to say that, and the other thing, you got to cut the head off the snake. The other thing is the Federal Reserve. Until you get rid of the Federal Reserve, we're not going to have sound money.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the control is taking place too, because we have a Federal Reserve. And I mean, go back and watch. I think I told you before. Watch Aaron Russo.
Oh, I know that. Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah, that was a classic. Where he's talking about the Rockefellers and the RFID chip and stuff. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
It's crazy. We're here now, dude. That was I saw that almost 10 years ago. I saw the interview
I didn't know that. I saw you where they interviewed you on InfoWars one time.
That was 2-3 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. I'm in Austin with them, so
I was like, you hit the big time.
No, dude, I just ran into Millie and Owen, and I just came on, I think, to talk about vaccines and stuff, and they're good. Millie and Owen are cool. I know some of the people there, but we're not tight. I know them. If I walked up to them and be like, hey, they'd be like, hey, but yeah. Speaking of lobbying, even in a small channel like mine, I've been really reluctant to get sponsors. I've had offers to use sponsors, and I've been working on stuff behind the scenes. I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of make my own money, because then I just want to be able to say what I want to say, because I know I have other friends that they get sponsors, right? And they think that they're going to be truthful to what they feel, but then, certain sponsors are going to reach in and be like, oh, you can't say that, or we're going to leave you if you do that. So it's kind of the same thing on a smaller scale, Not hundreds and thousands of dollars and millions of dollars, but still, even on a smaller scale, people can influence you that way. And I'm trying to get a bunch of little subscribers here and there, to donate, or either I'm working up trying to sell stuff, and I have some other things in the work. But yeah, I don't want to be controlled like that, and who's to say that I wouldn't get corrupted? I'm human, I might need something, or I might need money at the time that I get it, It's creepy.
Yeah, it's very low-key, seductive, and you can think, okay, well, it's not this big a deal, and before you know it, you're waist deep in the money.
Yeah.
Corruption.
Yeah.
Gosh, I had something else I was going to say, but corruption is what's wrong with. I was going to say that you know, you mentioned the money. 2 jobs that should never have salaries, okay? Politicians shouldn't take any kind of salary for nothing. They should be doing it because they care about the country and they're there to help the country. No salary. You want to do it because you love the United States and you care about the people of this country. You can provide them with a place to live, living expenses and all that, but no salary.
Like an allowance or something, maybe?
Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say is back years ago, probably 30, 40, even maybe back further, is that pastors, what's wrong with the church in America is that the money's corrupted religion and the church too.
Yeah, totally.
You know, you have pastors that make these ridiculous salaries.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when they're being paid to make their salaries, they're not allowed to speak the true truth sometimes of what they've been studying and what they've been reading in the Bible. And so they can't say, they're afraid to say because their salary comes into play. They don't want to jeopardize their salary. Well, back in the old days, pastors used to have a regular job.
Oh, really?
And then, and then they would go, go and preach on their own. I found that out because I have a friend who's a Mormon. I'm not a Mormon, but he told me, he said, he says, at our church, he says, the pastor, we don't give him a salary. He has his own job. He works his own job.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, that's what I thought. Wow, I thought that is a really noble kind of an idea. And he was explaining to me, well, this is why we don't pay the pastor. And I was like, well, that makes,
that's
perfect
deep.
sense.
Because I'm like, why isn't Joel Osteen and all these people talking about like the COVID hoax shit and all the corruption? And I was looking at, I don't know this guy's name, but his name is Aaron something. He's black, he has like a shaved head. He's a pastor. Dr. Aaron, I can't think of his name. But anyway, he was talking about, what's going on with COVID and stuff, that why are all these churches like not standing up and just standing down?
Church.
They should see the evil already. Like they're not even practicing what they're preaching. Why are they so complacent and compliant to what's going on?
Right, like sheep.
Yeah. And I'm like, the devil, you're preaching about the devil all day. The devil's not just in the Bible. It's like he's here. He's right here. He's today. The devil's today.
Well, the devil's a master of disguises, and some people have problems with not only their regular vision but spiritual vision. They can't see. A lot of Christians don't believe in a lot of conspiracy stuff. I used to have to explain to them, hey, don't you see what's happening here? They couldn't see it. They wanted to believe that the country is good, that none of that kind of corruption exists.
Yeah.
They can't stand the thought of it.
Yeah.
I think you understand where I'm going with that.
No, I know. They can't see. Yeah.
It's a complete mindset.
I got family at the same thing. Like even, it's crazy. I would think that the church would be a safe space, but I don't even feel safe in that. And there's in California, in one of my friends' neighborhood, I don't know the name of the church, but there was finally a church, and I think they made national news where they try to, comply, go by the laws and stuff, and then they were just like, no, you have to close down, and the pastor's like, forget this, like we're gonna open. And then whoever heard his case, they're like, well, we're not gonna fine you and arrest you because we don't want to make you a martyr, but any of the people in your church show up, we're gonna give them a misdemeanor charge. But they came anyway, which was great. They still showed up. And I don't think the police enforced the misdemeanors. But they're having service now without the permission of, the fake, government and their fake ass orders and laws. So, that was really inspirring to see. But there should be way more of people. I'm saying people shouldn't even be.
The church that I attend has been slow to open, slow to do it. And it's frustrated me to the point where I'm like, I got to go to another church because I'm tired of this they're not even standing up for their own rights to even being able to worship.
Have you told them that?
I've mentioned that to some of the people who I go to church with. And
Have you told the pastor that? You should tell.
Baptists are Baptists are just so, and I'm a Baptist myself, but
I mean,
I was going to say,
if you're
Baptists are just so reserved, and they're really good people. They kind of believe in that American dream of the Midwestern kind of.
Yeah.
Everything is good, and we're a great country. We love our country, and our government wouldn't send us to wars to take advantage of the population for other people's. They wouldn't lie to us. They're very. I don't know, but there are people that are, like you said, that are aware, but there's not enough of them.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy because I've been wanting to go to church, and I can't go to Sunday school because they're only opening the service up, and then they're not opening Sunday school up. Where Sunday school is real important to me because I like to go hear a good sermon, but Sunday school is where you go and people talk about the everyday struggles that we have and how God's word is applied to it. So it's more informational and more. It's better to me than just going to a sermon.
Well, if you can get the information to the pastor and maybe tell him that, and if you can get together with other members of your church, and even if you email him and just be like, look, I love your stuff, but I don't feel safe. I don't feel like this is the place where I'm supposed to feel strong and united, and I don't feel this way. So I'm gonna bounce and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know your pastor. Maybe in his defense too, maybe he feels that way. But he's, I think a lot of businesses and churches, they're also kind of caught between a rock and a hard place because they're just like, do I go with my feelings or do I comply because I want people to feel safe and because people are scared? So I think
that goes back to what I was saying just a minute ago. The pastor could have feelings like I just expressed to you. He could have those feelings like, hey, we need to be in church, this is bullcrap. But the people who tell him what to do and give him the salary, he's under, he's controlled by them because they're paying him salary.
Wait, but they're not. So who pays the salary then? Are they don't just get their donations from people? Like, so is like the church a business kind of?
Those are founders of every church. And there's the members that make it up, and then there's the hired people that put the church together and originate and start it. And they go and get a pastor, and they put together stuff. Of course, some of it comes from the donations that they get, but they give them a salary. Our pastor has a house that they purchased, things of that nature. Really, to be honest with you, I don't know why he needs a salary because it's kind of like what I was saying with the politicians. If you just provide living quarters and living expenses.
Yeah.
But that's my point is that money is the corrupter of all these things.
Yeah. And
we have to get rid of lobbying because lobbying, they change words on you. Lobbying is
semantics.
All it is legalized bribery.
I like that. I'm going to start saying that. I'm just going to be like, yeah, go on.
Everybody knows that bribery is wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. At least most people should.
Yeah.
Or they haven't been taught. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to call it lobbying in a business sense makes it sound not so bad. And a lot of people don't take the time to learn and understand what that really means.
Oh, totally.
What it boils down to is that it's legalized bribery because that's all they do is these lobbyists go up to Washington. You know how much time lobbyists spend going up to Washington to woo these politicians?
Oh, yeah. And money. Like, I know the pharmaceutical industry, everybody thinks the oil industry is bad. The pharmaceutical industry
Of course.
spends double the money that the oil industry does. Yeah, they're double. They're double.
And pardon my French, but you think these politicians are going to give a fuck about Ma and Joe Pa in the middle America, or
No.
somebody in East Los Angeles, or you know what I mean? Anywhere
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think they're going to give two craps about those people?
No, not at all. Not at all.
They-
You know,
they-
but
they
the,
make-
go on.
some of those people that go in there, I think, go up there with good intentions. Some of them just go in there because they want their power hungry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but some of them go in there with good intentions, and they get corrupted by how the system has become like that.
Yeah.
We don't need to destroy the whole system. What I'm trying to say is we need to get rid of those two things.
Yeah.
We need to get rid of legalized, because you can't have a good country unless you have an honest country.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Truth.
Mhm.
Truth. We want truth, not lies.
For sure.
And we don't need lawyers for politicians. We need good, honest people who will make decisions on behalf of the people and won't do dirty, corrupt things. And there's plenty of people that everybody knows in every small town, large town, or wherever, knows people who like, hey, let's put this guy in office because he would be a good shepherd. He would watch over our country and make sure, dirty things weren't happening. He would be looking out for the people. But you can't get elected in a system unless you have millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's the way the system is controlled and set up for what the way it is what we've got.
Yeah.
And until we tinker and change a few of those things, we'll continue to get the same.
For sure. The
And
semantics.
it won't stop.
I love the thing that you said. You're going to call lobbying legalized bribery. I love that, and you're right about the semantics and the wordplay. It's like sorcery, right? And my friend was saying, we were talking the other day. We're like, yeah, we're just going to call contact tracing the Gestapo. He's just like, it's the Gestapo. Or call abortion killing your baby. They don't say killing your baby. They just say abortion. I'm like, no, it's killing your baby.
Or pro-choice. Why don't I remember
killing
when
your baby.
People they would call the people pro-life. They would say they're anti-choice. Well, I guess you guys are pro-kill.
Yeah. And then people get mad at me sometimes because I say I'm an anti-vaxxer, but I'm like, no, I'm really against vaccines. I just tell people why. I understand why people don't want to have that label because they feel that, there's a negative connotation to it. But I think if you own it and you're proud and you're strong in it and you tell people why, it hasn't been a problem for me. Because I think a lot of people too, they'll be like, oh, I'm pro-choice or pro-health. And I'm not, I have friends like that. I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying I feel like it works for me just to be straight up with what I am and then tell people why. Because even if you say that, they're going to be like, yeah, whatever, anti-vaxxer. And especially if they know that bothers you, they're just going to have a field day with it, So the way that you use words is very empowering. And they know that. These elite globalists, they know this. They know. They do it all the time. But if you're not aware of it, you're basically, you're easily under their spell.
Correct. And speaking of some of the off-the-wall stuff we're talking about, and kind of Satanism, and anybody noticing that pedophilia now is becoming, they're trying to change the definition of what it is?
I've noticed that, and I've also noticed that the masks are making it easier for kids to be abducted because you can't identify the kids and you can't identify the abductors because they're wearing masks.
Well, you see how we're going backwards? We're going back to the days of where they would do these kinds of things. And, I mean, if you can do child pedophilia and make that legal,
That's crazy.
where do you think that people won't stop with human sacrifice eventually?
Making that legal and cannibalism and all this stuff, yeah, for sure.
I
think
30, 40 years.
I know, wait, hold on. I know your time was up and I'm waiting. Somebody called and I let you finish. And so just keep talking. The next person that calls, though, I'm going to take that call.
10-4.
Yeah. No, we can see you keep talking until the next person calls. It's fine.
Okay, and then I guess the other thing, the pedophilia thing is something I think people need to. They better start talking about it. They better start pushing back on this real quick, or it's going to become legitimate, just like transgenderism. When Obama, I don't care what anybody thinks about homosexuals, okay? Gay marriage that doesn't exist. That's not real. And when they open that up, I believe in civil unions for people. So when they open that up, they open Pandora's box up to the transgenderisms, not knowing, people's identity anymore. Now you got this pedophilia thing that's coming down there, and it will not stop.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. But hey, let me take this next call, Christian. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye. Hello?
Open that up.
Hey,
Pandora's box
Hello?
up.
Hello?
Transgenderism.
is this V?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Kenny.
Hey, Kenny, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you? I'm Kenny.
Good. Analog, I should say.
Oh, analog reason, yeah. How you doing?
Yeah. Good. Yourself?
I'm great. I'm just making a note. All right. I'm going to start the timer. If you go over, then if somebody else calls, I'll take it. But if not, I'll let you keep talking, okay? What's up? How are you?
So
Happy Wednesday.
yeah, same to you. Hey, Moloch is the pagan god of child sacrifice, just FYI.
Okay. I love it. I got all these clarifications today on that. Got it. I think I'm solid now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they sacrifice children in exchange for their future prosperity and financial security.
Got you. Okay.
So they're really, really fucked up people, okay?
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
And also, yeah, well, I'll run through these points and then I'll have you elaborate on it. How's that?
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, last time I called in, I said I think Corona is a hoax.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody busted my balls on that. I know it's a hoax right now, but I'm not convinced that it's a hoax in the long run. I think this is just some trial bullshit period right now. And they're going to unleash this on us just before they're ready to put the vaccination out. That's just my take on it.
Okay. I think possibly if they use the negative frequencies for the 5G, they can do it that way. Just from my research and what I know about germ theory and terrain theory, they won't be able to, I believe, do it biologically. They have to do it chemically or electromagnetically. And they also have to make sure our terrains are down. I think there are multiple reasons why they're having us wear the mask, but the mask also lowers our immune system. You're harboring bacteria, which is lowering our immune system. People are in a state of fear. People are in a state of paranoia. They're doing other things to make sure that our immune systems are down, when they try and quote unquote unleash this on us. I brought this book up before, and I'm so busy right now developing this course. I really don't have time, but if any of you guys want to look at this book, it's amazing because it's called Dissolving Illusions. I'm holding it up. I don't know if you see. But they basically, I hear people say, oh, this is a trial run. I think this is actually the test, but smallpox, polio, all these plague epidemics, they've done the same thing. They've created a false flag, so to speak, and then they got people to get vaccinated, and the vaccination was the thing that made them sick. And that's probably what they're planning with the vaccine. But I don't think that. I think that. I don't know. I think, as far as the vaccine goes, I think there are people that will wear the mask. But I think a lot of people, I know their line will be drawn at they won't take the vaccine. I know a lot of people will probably be coerced into taking the vaccine, like they won't be able to go back to a job or they won't be able to fly or travel. without taking the vaccine. That's what they're doing in Argentina. I know they've already taken a poll and they said that more than 50% of the population says that they will not take the vaccine. Any interview now, anywhere that Bill Gates has where he's talking about it, the comment section is either turned off or it's flooded with people talking about how much they hate him. And this is worldwide. And you know how they're able to manipulate and use, bots and stuff. But it's been so overwhelming that they haven't been able to control it. And I think that, there's just so many people that have been injured by vaccines worldwide that there's going to be a lot of opposition to the vaccine. Even for the people that are sheep that are following along with everything. But I think their line would be at the vaccine. And then, like I said, there's some people that are going to probably get it. And then after people get it, then they'll be like, oh, I'm sick. And then that would maybe make some more people scared into getting the vaccine because they see these people that are sick. You know what I mean? But that's what happened with polio, with smallpox. Like, that's why I recommend this book. And like I said, I want to do a video on it because I know it's a big book. And I know y'all are scared to read the shit. But I was reading the smallpox chapter. And basically, they start the smallpox campaign in the 1700s, and there's so much documentation of people getting sick after the smallpox vaccine. But they just erase history like they always do. And then today we just see pictures of smallpox, and we assumed that it was the vaccine that got rid of the smallpox, when that's not the case.
Right.
So, I mean, it's fascinating because until, I really started looking into this, of course, most people, they're going to see a picture of smallpox and be like, oh my God, that's terrible. I want a vaccine because I don't want to look like that. I don't want, but there's so much, that it's their usual MO. But because people don't know history, they don't realize it,
Right.
Sorry, I hope I didn't ramble too much.
No, that's right. There's a lot of dumb fucks out there, though, that are going to get it because they think that the government actually gives a shit about it.
Yeah, and I pray for those people every day because I don't, especially people that they kind of know where I stand now. And fortunately, I've had some people would be like, oh my God, now I see what we're talking about. But then there are just other people that, they'll get the vaccine to spite me. Because, they don't want me to be right about it. And I'm just like, well, that's where the spiritual war comes in. Because you're so prideful that you're going to put your own life at risk, in danger. Because you don't want to be wrong about this whole vaccine thing. Even though I'm somebody that cares about you, that, has your best interest in mind, you're not going to take the time to even look into what I'm saying. Like, I have a lot of evidence to back up what I'm saying. I just don't talk out of the side of my mouth for shits and giggles. But it creeps me out, that there are people that are, and there's just people, too, that are just worn out. They're worn down. They're just like, oh, no, I don't want to wear the mask. Because I think now they're mask shaming. And a friend of mine has a theory. She's like, okay, now they're shaming us for wearing masks. But then they're going to come out with the vaccine. And then if you don't take the vaccine, then you're going to have to wear a mask if you don't get the vaccine. Then they're going to shame the people for that, And she's thinking that it's going to flip out because a lot of info now is coming out on the mask and how unhealthy they are. There's another article, I think Ron Paul was talking about it, and I found the article, but he was talking about dentists are saying that people are having mask mouth, where they're having chronic halitosis and receding gums and cavities as a result of wearing these masks all the time for hours and hours a day. And I mean, there's so many different angles and different people coming out with why these masks are unhealthy and unsanitary to wear, especially for long periods at a time. And then there's going to be lawsuits. I'm waiting to get on one. I'm just waiting. There are going to be lawsuits, probably more so against employers that have made their people wear masks, making them wear masks while they work, And then, then that's going to come out. They're like, oh, well, we can stop wearing the mask, but if you get the vaccine, you don't have to wear the mask. I've even seen a billboard that says that already now. that you want, like, it's like a cartoon doctor, and he's like, you want life to go back to normal? Well, it will if you get the vaccine. I'm like, these motherfuckers. Dude, the evil just never, like, they don't take a vacation, right? They just keep on going. I'm like, wow. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I refuse to masturbate.
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 You know,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, masturbate. Masturbate. I got it. I do. How is it working out for you?
Pretty good. I look a little crazy, and I don't think people really want to fuck with me because, I can give the evil eye.
Yeah. I'm kind of taking advantage of my black powers, by the way, too, because with this whole Black Lives Matter thing, I think people are, like, extra scared of black people. So I'm like, I try and look all mean if they come up to me, but go on. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah. Anyways, there is a Question Everything 2020 conference in Austin, Texas, November 7 and 8 of this year.
Oh, you sent me that. I think you sent me that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I did. Jim Fetzer is putting that on, and he's got a lot of heavy hitters in the truther community. So that's
go on.
That's something that probably you could attend because you're right there.
I might go. I don't know if I would try and go speak or do anything like that. I saw it. I actually I know that I'm gonna have a lot going on because I have I'm scheduled to have my first single coming out musically that around that time, and that's gonna be a lot of promotion and stuff. But I did make note of it, and I was like, oh, it's right here. It's not even too far from where I live, so I was like, yeah. Thank you for sending me that, though. Yeah, I might. Yeah. It depends on what I'm doing, but I'm really trying to focus. I think like on my music and stuff, and I'm going to be promoting and doing some other stuff and around that time. So I just have a tendency, Kenny, to overcommit to things, and I'm really trying to be good about saying no to stuff. Ahead of time before. I don't want to be, because I don't want to be like a flake. I'm like, yeah, oh my God, it's really good. And just like not come. Are you gonna go? Are you gonna be there?
I'm actually going to renew my driver's license so I get the stamp of approval to fly. That's the new law now.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
great.
you have to get. They gotta have your fucking social, your birth certificate, proof of residency, all kinds of shit, at least out here.
Yeah.
So if I don't have trouble getting my driver's license and I'm not on the no-fly list, I'll probably be out there.
Okay. Well, if I do decide to go, I will definitely hit you up so I can meet you in person and say hi. What's up?
Yeah, definitely. The Fetzer, he wrote a lot of books on Sandy Hook, the hoax, false flags, 9/11. A lot of his books were banned by Amazon as well. So if anybody's interested in Jim Fetzer's work,
that means they're really good. That means they're really good. That means they're really good.
Yeah, that means he hit the truth.
Yeah. His book banning, man, is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's the world has gone mad, but thankfully there's people that got big balls. You're included in that too, by the way.
Oh, thank you, but I'm just like, I honestly attribute that to not having a family at the moment. I feel like, I know other people that would be right along with me, but me just standing up on my job and stuff, it would have been hard for me if I had other mouths to feed, and I feel for the people that have other people to support and stuff. It's not easy. But I mean, I guess, and I'm selfish in the sense too that I just don't want to live in a 1984 world. So, I mean, like, knock on wood, like, that scares me more than actually dying, because I believe that there's something else after we die. But I don't want to be a slave in this terrible, horrible 1984 world, because that seems like hell on earth,
Oh yeah. Well, there definitely is something after this. This isn't it.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be ridiculous if this was it.
I'd be mad if there wasn't. I'd be pretty pissed. I'm like, ah! Like, I die and I'm like, oh no! Are you serious? You kidding me? There's nothing else, What?
Right.
So.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah. And as far as Fritz Springmeier, that guy is a champion of truth.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart too. He's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah. He, the FBI set him up, and he actually went to prison for quite a long time.
Yeah, for bank robbery. And then you meet him. You're like, you went to jail for a bank robbery? You know what I mean? Like, I know that they set him up, but it's like, I wouldn't even believe it if he did it, because he doesn't even, his energy, his demeanor is very sweet and nice. But I don't know.
Yes. Is that like the craziest thing you've ever heard?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think I don't remember what we asked him, but we interviewed him twice. He came on twice when we had our podcast. You can look it up on SoundCloud. He's super smart. He's super humble. He speaks like different languages. He's just like, and that dude, he got into it because he ran into some mind-controlled women, and as a Christian, he was like, if I don't help these people, I'm not a Christian. And I was like, dang, I'd be scared to do that. Like, he had balls.
Right.
He had balls. He really stood by his
yeah,
conviction. Yeah. And that's why he started getting into it. And then because I think he traveled a lot, he's like to different countries with his, I think it was this church or whatever. Maybe I'm a little wrong about that. There's somebody in the chat that says that she knows him. So maybe, please correct me if I'm wrong, if you're still there. But I think he speaks like Turkish and some other stuff. He was able to get info, through his travels from writing this book on the bloodlines of the Illuminati. And he was able to learning different languages too is a really, really a good source to learn other things and gather information, because there's information about different things in different languages. So if you know a different language, then that opens up another world for you to explore and grab, info out for other people and for yourself. So it's because he was able to do that too. And I think he was in jail. He wrote part of it in jail because while he was writing it, they tried to they put him in jail. And then he was talking about when he was in jail, they tried to kill him in jail. I was like, dang.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he really went through the ringer on that stuff.
Yeah, dude. And then he was talking about how the witnesses were paid off, and he got out and he was presumed innocent. But I was like, golly, this guy, wow.
Yeah. And he's still going strong though, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, his spirit wasn't broken. There's certain people that go through stuff we interviewed Andrew Wakefield, and I've actually met him a couple of times. He's been through a lot too. He's been through so much, but his spirit is still strong. It's really interesting to see all these people, and you can tell that they've been through a lot, but they're still humble, and their spirit is still intact. It's really inspiring. The human spirit is very strong.
Right. And with that, those people have a lot of faith.
Yeah.
In something greater than themselves. That's how they get that strength.
Yeah. What did they say? There are no atheists in foxholes or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And my last point is, I'm a photographer, and I was out photographing the last month or so on the street, doing street work.
Mm-hmm.
And I have photographed where they're putting up these new towers, but they're not towers. They're disguised as lampposts
And trees and stuff.
and yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
And I thought, shit, here we go. I mean, 5G is available in my neighborhood right now.
Yeah.
So they've
It's very
had
creepy.
this shit turned on for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's creepy. But
Yeah.
let me take this last person that tried to call. Would you call back, please? I'm gonna take one more caller before I wrap it up tonight. But yeah, thank you for sending me that. I definitely made a note, and I'll let you know if I decide to go, if I can make it. But yeah.
All right, sounds good. Keep up the good work there.
Oh, thank you, Kenny. Have a great day.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Call back, last caller, 512-481-7464. Or hello? No, I tried to call. Call back. I tried to answer. What happened? Wahapa. All right, next person. Wahapa. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. Is this it, dudes? Is this it? I'm gonna take one more caller. Nobody calls them. I'm gonna wrap it up. All right. Hey, who is this?
Hey, Verstein, it's Johnny. Let me get back to my phone call here.
Hey, how are you? Huh?
Are you there?
Yeah. How are you?
Wonderful. Good to hear you. You're covering tons of topics today.
I know. I try to have a focus, but that doesn't really work. Oh, let me start the timer. I'm covering topics, but that doesn't... Huh?
Focusing's okay, but it's hard to stay on track, huh?
Yeah.
People. I think this is your little family here. We got about 30 people that are dedicated to you today.
Yeah, that's nice. I know. I appreciate it.
Amen. It looks like we're kind of racing towards the end here. You know, they're coming out with all these different numbers every day, and you know, they're not stacking bodies like they did up on the first time, but it's slowing down. But then all of a sudden, all these tests are coming out more and more positives and hotspots. I'm waiting to see what they find out with Sturgis up in there, where they got all these people from different parts of the country that came together and said, screw your mask, we're just going to go out and enjoy our life.
Where's Sturgis?
And then see what happens. It would be neat to see how many people really get sick and or, you know, end up dying from this thing, because you and I know it's a hoax.
Wait, where's Sturgis?
Yeah, Sturgis is that big bike rally. I think it's up in, what is it, Montana?
South Dakota? South Dakota?
North Dakota, yeah.
South Dakota, because that's where and you know, I just saw the governor of South Dakota was on Tucker Carlson. No. Was it Tucker? Was it Laura Ingraham? She was on somewhere. But she was talking about, they never shut down, they didn't do mask laws or any of this stuff, and they had the lowest amount of cases. Now, I'm guessing because a lot of people are probably woke there, they probably just didn't get tested. But, you know, they were able to keep their population, you know, without shutting down their economy at all. And I think they even threw a parade for her to thank her for, you know, listening to the people. And, you know, they're one of the most healthiest, quote unquote, states that is around at the moment. So, But then, did you hear about that guy from Kansas that was he was worked for the health department, and he basically tried to lie and fudge data and say that counties that had in Kansas, he was comparing counties. So it was like, oh, counties that had more mask orders or that wore the mask actually had less cases, and counties that didn't have the mask had more cases. But actually, the data was flipped around. And the people that wore the mask had more cases, and the people that didn't wear the mask had less cases. And he got caught. He got caught fudging data. So.
Well, thank God somebody's out there watching some of this and getting them caught doing it, because I think I sent you a video on an email about the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. There's a YouTube video out there on it, and it's basically saying, I think Obama signed it into the law back in January 2nd, 2013, where it's perfectly legal for the government to create all these lies and propaganda just to sway the public. So it seems like our government has turned on us, and it comes down to where they can do whatever they want and try to get us to believe what they want to believe in. But thank God we have some of us with some sane minds that'll say, hey, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's more of a, like, I think even having a conscience, because I think that like, who was I just talking to, Christian, we're just talking about how a lot of these people are just bought off with money. But, if you have a strong conscience, no amount of money can buy you off, because you realize that there's a bigger picture, there's something else behind the money,
Oh, amen. I mean, I always say, you walk with the Lord, you can't fail. And, there's the Bible out there, and before the Bible was written, it was spoken. And back in the day, I'm sure it was spoken to some pretty non-intellectual people. So they created this story of the Bible, which is good and very well could be truthful. But, you look at where life started, and it started in the Garden of Eden. So it started in the garden. So
yeah.
I believe that gardens are going to be the most important thing in the future.
Yeah.
You were talking about starting to grow some food, which is cool. And I think if everybody started realizing they could take over their own future by growing some food for themselves and starting to learn how to grow it, because it's not easy.
No, it's not. I've killed some stuff already. It's not. It takes, I definitely have respect for people that can grow food, hunt, fish, mechanics,
Right.
all that stuff. All that stuff is going to be very valuable very soon. So.
Well, especially if your money becomes more and more worthless.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try to take the currency out of the system. That's why you were talking about, I think, your last show, this coin shortage. Well, pretty soon they're going to say, you're transferring these viruses around with paper money, and we're just going to put everything on digital money, which is going to be a very scary world then, because you have no control of it.
Oh, definitely. And then, what was I going to say? What was I going to say? There's already a place in Austin that's doing that, and I'm not going to ever patronize them ever. They're only taking digital because of that. They even have a sign on their door saying that, but they're like insanely liberal. I went in there one day to order pizza, and they were whole bodies were wrapped in trash bags. They had on masks and gloves and hair nets, and I'm just like, are you guys for real? And they were so mean to me because I wasn't wearing a mask, and I came in and I was just like, hey, I just want to order pizza. And then they're like, you're going to have to go outside and order online. And I'm like, I'm here. Can I just order it to go? They're like, no. I was like, y'all are weak. Y'all are whack. I'm not ever coming back.
Isn't that a shame?
Yeah.
We have. I think it's going worldwide with that. There's more and more businesses that are going cashless, and I'm strictly cash. You know that. Mm. And I just realized that it's try to find the businesses that'll keep taking your money, because if all that goes away, then we are definitely a slave to the system, because
Oh, for sure,
you
yeah.
can wake up one day and they say, well, you have $10,000 in the bank, and the next day you only have $1,000 left. Oh, we needed your money to pay these debts off.
Yeah,
I think
or
they
you
put
just
that-
disobeyed. It's like the chip. It's like the chip that Aaron Russo was talking about, how they, they'll just turn it off, They'll turn off their
Right.
bank
Yeah, I
account.
just can't believe anybody would think about injecting a chip into their body so that they can just follow you around and do whatever they want.
Well, they're doing it. They're already, some businesses have doing, like corporate businesses have given benefits to their employees that do it, and they're injecting chips in certain parts of Europe because younger kids are doing that because they'll get like free drinks at clubs if they inject them. So they'll inject themselves with chips so they can get free poison via alcohol. Right? It's ridiculous.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's just amazing how our society has regressed. And if you think about it, it all started with the stupid phones. Once they came out with the internet, and then they came out with cell phones, it's like, well, how can we get this internet on cell phones? And now it's just like people will go crazy once they lose their cell phone internet capability. And
Yeah.
believe it or not, the government has the power to switch that off anytime they want. In fact, they do it during times of like riot stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll actually just shut down the cell phone frequencies on a certain area, and nobody can communicate.
Yeah.
So it's just it's going to be a wild ride. Sometimes I see you through your videos, you're kind of apprehensive. It's like, oh, just keep yourself on the ground, you'll be fine.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, man, it's good talking to you.
All right.
I'll be sending you something soon. Thank you for sending that package to me. I appreciate it.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
expect that in Westra.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm glad you got it. You're welcome.
Yeah, you know what? The post office is getting better because I think it took almost a week or more to get that one package down to you. But then yours came in like 2-3 days. So our new Postmaster General is cracking the whip.
Okay, cool. All right, Johnny. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Take care of me.
Bye-bye. I think I'll take one more call because I saw somebody else trying to get through, and I'll take one more. It was 314, I think. 2 and 3. Hey, what's up? Did you have your finger on the button? Who is this?
Hey, no.
Who's this?
What's your name again?
Verstein. Who is this?
Oh, Christine. Okay.
Verstein with the V.
Oh, okay. That's hard. That's kind of hard to spell. I mean, hard to pronounce, I guess.
I'm gonna start the
So,
timer. Go on. What's your name?
Oh, yeah. It's Josue. I mean, I've been on here before on the message box.
Okay, cool. Hey, Josue.
Yeah.
Josue. Hi, Josue. What's up?
Yeah, just listening right here to you guys. I'm kind of a believer that this is totally crap with the virus and all that.
Well, why? Why do you believe it? You believe that it's crap? I mean, I know why, but what are your insights?
Well, it's because I kind of believe the Bible. That's part of it, but I just think it's all trying to control because I kind of believe that it is like a spiritual thing. It's it's a spiritual battle.
What do you see going on like around you? With the even because I think like I understand if you you're religious and you believe that this is an aspect of it, but even if you're not religious, I think people should be able to see through this using their just kind of common sense and like kind of what's going around. So with that aside, like what do you see?
Like if people like wear masks, right, and then they take a crap, you can still smell it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you can still smell the crap. I'm not trying to be like nasty here, but
Yeah.
I think it's just trash because it just doesn't make sense if you really like think about it.
Well, is it just the mask, or like do you see people dying around you? Like what else do you observe?
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, like the whole thing.
I haven't met anybody die from it. I mean, I've been feeling kind of sick, but that's about it. I mean, I don't see anybody. I think it's totally a hype. It's being hyped.
So
do you know how to say that everybody's like dying and around you, and like it's like the whole world's collapsing. It's like dude, like I don't see anybody dying around me, and none of my family members is dead. Not one, not anybody I know either.
Do you what does your family think? Or do they believe the news media about it, or like what are their thoughts on it?
Well, it's kind of a split too, but like your family, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Like my brothers, like both of them, they're kind of like whatever, but they kind of do believe that something is kind of going on, but then they're not as crazy as I am. I'm more of a believer that this is all crap.
So they kind of believe it. They're kind of like they know that something's going on. Do they believe it's about a virus?
It's hard to say for my brothers, but like they're just not as hardcore as I am when it comes to like it's for me. I just think this is nonsense basically.
Yeah.
And my dad, he's kind of more on line with me, my dad, and my mom. Well, she doesn't really know what's going on. So she's not she doesn't really have a side.
Okay, got you.
So But if you think about like my cousins and all that, some of them they hate Trump and it's crazy,
Do you think because they hate Trump that they're more likely to believe that this is real, like they're buying into the political aspect of it?
Say that again, because I kind of have ADHD. My bad.
Okay, it's okay. Do you believe?
I do. I really do. I'm just being honest.
No, it's okay. No, it's fine. But I'm saying,
That's right. Yeah.
I'm saying, do you believe that your cousins, because they hate Trump, they think that that they're more inclined to believe it because they're politicizing it? The media has politicized this. They're more inclined to fall for the virus.
Yeah, I think
propaganda.
All of it is the media. No kidding.
So they're just
No
like.
joke.
So they're just like, oh, they don't even entertain the possibility that it's not real because they hate Trump. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think they can't think for themselves. I think they've lost it, or they lost it a long time ago. I don't know.
Yeah, I really believe. I
don't know specifically where, but somewhere along the line they couldn't think.
Yeah, I think that, the media has really encapsulated a lot of people's thoughts. It's crazy. And I kind of wonder where I would be when I moved away from, I think I've talked about this chat. I lived in Taiwan for 2 years and I moved away and I didn't, but even before that though, I really stopped watching TV. And I just, I watch movies and stuff, and I use social media here and there. But, I think that there are people, they just live by the television. They have to have it on all the time. They have to have it. It drives me crazy. Like, my mom listens to the TV. She needs the TV to help her fall asleep. And I'm just like, oh, my God. Like, I've tried to tell her that's terrible because you're getting programmed while you're asleep. And that's really when your mind is the most vulnerable. But there are people that are just addicted, like as of drugs to television, and they can't like really separate that from reality. So they can't really, I think that's one reason why people can't think for themselves, because they've been really taken over by like the television and the media.
Well, here's what I also think. I think they're just like, I kind of lost my train of thought. I think they're just like, they just believe whatever like you're saying, kind of like they just believe wherever the crowd goes, or whatever the wind blows. That's what I'm trying to say. They just believe that because one thing I think is they want to know where the crowd is. They're afraid of the crowd, right? They just if the crowd goes somewhere, they don't want to be like the minority, right? I think they're afraid that they might get blasted by the big crowd. I think that's one thing. And I think another thing is they also feel like they would know because they think that the people on top are really, really smart, but yet I think they're trying to con them, right?
Yeah. Well,
those are the two things that are going on there, I think. I mean, that's part of the reason for some. For others, it might be something else, right?
Yeah, I think I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's a huge part of what really has people controlled is they're really concerned about what other people think of them. And especially since they hammer this whole, like, they've used conspiracy theorists as a trigger, as like a pejorative and a slur to question, anybody that questions official narrative. They're just like, oh, they're a conspiracy theorist. So
Yeah, I get a lot of that in the internet.
yeah, exactly. As if you're a bad, crazy, evil person, and they're trying to frame people that are, conspiracy theorists as terrorists. I wouldn't even be surprised if they make a false flag, and then they'll be like, oh, and this person, was a Q follower, and he believed in conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? Like, they'll do shit like that to turn people off, and then that would scare people even more to, like, thinking outside the box, because they don't want to be like that crazy person, right? So I think
that's what I was saying. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah.
Can I speak on some other stuff, like Bible stuff? Because I want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, go on.
You okay? Okay. Well, the other thing that I wanted to say is that there's some people like Joe Austin, right, who are like really into like money and stuff like that, and I don't like that guy basically. I don't, but I think there's a lot of Christians who think that having a lot of money makes you a bad person, and so I also think that that's part of the issue and going on in the churches, that they think that they let the Satanists have all the money, and they're not supposed to have the wealth. I think the Christians should be having the wealth.
You're right. That's a good point too. Yeah,
So
just because.
like nobody ever talks about that. Like I only hear that. I mean, that's sure. I don't think every Christian. I think there's a lot there's a lot less Christians not having money when there should be a lot more Christians having more money. And I don't think it should be like. I don't think it has to be only the Christians. It could be like regular people. I just don't want the Satanists to have the money because they always want to have all the power. Like you know how in Exodus the witches came up to Moses and they controlled people back then like that. Like they were the people in Egypt were the ones that ruled Egypt. Egypt was like the strongest like empire for for that very reason, because they had the control, right? They had the power because they had the Satanists ruling that like district, I guess, if you could say.
So
I think.
Go on.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of going all over the place.
Yeah, this okay.
But I'm touching on a lot of stuff here,
Yeah, that's a really good point. I never thought about that. Because a lot of people, they associate wealth with evil. Then they don't pursue wealth because they think that people that do that are evil. But then money is neutral, and you can do good things with your money. And I guess it just really depends upon how you obtain your money. But then now that you say that,
but then they're okay. A lot of them are even okay with that. They just don't think it's okay to be rich, and that's another problem.
That's what I was talking about. Like, I was totally agreeing with you. Like they won't pursue wealth because they don't want to be looked at as evil.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of pastors that have money and stuff. So are they evil? They're Christian, you know what I mean? But are they evil because they have? But what are these pastors doing with their money? Like, I think there are a lot of pastors and people that are Christian that are probably following the satanic agenda as well. Not because they're rich, but because of how they're using their money.
Right. I think they're investing it on something on something vain, if I could use that word. Something useless, or they're investing it basically on something dumb or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to give you a couple of verses on that, because I actually try to go by the Bible as best as I can,
Yeah.
And there in the book of Acts, you see in the Bible you see that when the rich man came to Jesus, right? He came to him and he told him that they use that a lot, that verse, but they totally take it out of context because even though the rich man was told by Jesus to give all his money, right? If you continue reading down that passage, if you continue reading down, Peter and the rest of the apostles, I think it was just Peter though, but Peter tells him that what about us? We gave up everything. Like what's in it for? Like what about us? Are we gonna get anything or because we gave it all and they did. They gave up their houses, and if you read the Gospels, they gave up everything to follow Jesus, and so Jesus says, no, whatever you gave, you're not only gonna get it in this life, like something for like you're not gonna only get a lot in this life, a lot more, but I'm gonna give you eternal life. People don't really catch that. It says in that in the Gospels that he was gonna give them houses, a lot more houses, and back then houses and herds and all that was for wealth, right? Because you would trade that and you would use that for wealth. So you're saying that you would get back houses and all the stuff you gave, you'll get it like full. You'll get it double. It says that you'll get it like double. I'm trying to like not take it out of context because I'm kind of just paraphrasing here. So he says you get it like double, and then you'll get eternal life on top of it. So you'll get it also with persecutions if you read it. It says that you're gonna get it with persecutions. So Joe Austin doesn't like really. He's not in it. He's not in that because like he always talks about not being persecuted. He always talks about the good shit. My bad. I'm cussing.
It's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
He always talks about the good stuff, but he never talks about like, oh, you're gonna go through trials and tribulations. He never talks about that. But it mentions that in the same passage. It mentions that you're gonna get it with persecutions too. Like people are gonna talk trash about you or whatever. And so and then if you go back to and then if you fast forward, to the book of Acts, you see that they were giving their wealth, they were giving their houses and all that. So and they were using the houses. They were selling them. You know how property is worth money, so they were selling their houses. So you see, if you start studying, it really gets crazy. You start understanding the whole Bible.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, how it relates to stuff. Yeah. I mean, I haven't read the whole Bible, but I'm starting to get like pieces of it here and there, and I'm like, wow, a lot of this stuff really lines up.
It makes sense, Like, and first of all, I'm not even a Christian. I'm not. I'm really not. This might be shocking to you. I'm just like a researcher, and I just study. Like, I'm actually more so of an atheist, but I'm not a hardcore atheist. I'm really not. And
are you like a spiritual atheist?
You don't really like me. Are
you like a spiritual atheist? Like you believe that there's a higher intelligence?
I'm a spiritual atheist, but I'm definitely not an atheist. Like I only talk shit about God and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to cuss, man. I just want to get that out of my bed.
It's okay. Yeah. Do you listen to my channel? I'm always cursing. It's funny, like I curse and then people come and call up today and they're like, oh no, I said a bad word. Like it's fine. I don't care.
No, but like the reason why I really don't know where I stand, but I'm more of I call myself a researcher or just a truth seeker like you.
Yeah, so I mean, like agnostic maybe. Maybe you're more agnostic and not atheist.
Yeah, I'm definitely more agnostic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the reason why I think I kind of believe the Bible is because like there's a lot of strange things that I saw as a child when I was a child. You know.
Yeah.
Like there was this one time when my dad, I prayed for him and his leg was hurting. And this is when I had faith, you know, because that's what it says in the Bible. If you have faith, you're gonna see miracles. So and my dad didn't have faith, obviously, because he was a Christian, like, and he still is. I'm not, but he is. And so I prayed. I laid my hands on him and I said a prayer, and and it worked. He said that his leg was feeling better.
That's crazy. And, well, I mean, I said that's crazy. I
got tripped because I know he wouldn't lie to me, and I'm like, I still doubt whether he was lying or not, but he still tells me that my leg felt better after you prayed for me. I'm like, what the heck?
Wow, I mean, you know what though? I believe that. I don't know if I'll ever talk about them here because they were kind of touchy, but I've had a couple of supernatural experiences too, to let me know that there are some things beyond this realm, for sure. You know.
Yeah, and let me tell you more. I get I kind of like talking to people because I really don't talk much to people. And so, anyways, I prayed for him, and what was I gonna say also?
You pray for him. You put his hands on him. Your dad.
Oh yeah, but I didn't pray like regular, like I think I actually prayed it like the Bible because I think I see why a lot of prayers don't work, or I have a theory where that I say to myself that why it wouldn't work, and I think it's because like I rebuked it. I told the thing because I tried all these other different prayers when I was a little younger as a kid. When I was more young as a kid, and I saw that it wouldn't work, so I tried something different. I actually rebuked it, and it left him. I rebuked it. I told it. I just said, leg be healed in Jesus' name. And it got healed.
Wow.
And I actually found out years later that was actually in the Bible. You're supposed to speak to it when someone has a healing, when someone has a disease or something. You speak to the problem. You don't tell God about it. You just speak to it. And that really tripped me out.
So wait, you're saying you don't speak to... So say that again. I missed it.
Yeah. You speak to the disease or problem, whatever it is. Like if someone has if someone can't hear, you say ears open in Jesus' name. You don't pray to God about it. You know, a lot of people.
Oh, you're saying you use it through Jesus?
Yeah, you speak to it like a lot of people think that when you pray you're supposed to I'm touching another thing I'm touching now on how you heal people, but basically. You're not only supposed to have faith. You're supposed to also. It's also the way you talk to it. The way you speak it out. The way the way you speak it. I didn't know it was about that, but it is. Like you don't say, Father, you heal it. No, you speak to the problem. You yourself. You command it. This isn't in the book of Acts that Paul, when he saw a witch, he said, "I command you in Jesus' name to come out of her." Notice that he didn't say. He says, you get it out of her.
Yeah, you know, I've heard I've heard like ex-Satanists say that too. That like when they've had trouble with evil spirits and stuff, that they say Jesus or Jesus' name, then they'll be like saved, or that whatever
I know
issue.
I know also the Catholics do it a lot, right?
Yeah, the power of Christ. Yeah. Right, yeah.
It's not only a Catholic thing. Even though sometimes the Catholics do not always agree with Protestants. Protestants, and like the Pentecostals, they actually do the same thing, some of the same stuff.
Yeah. It's fascinating. Yeah,
like the only passage you see in the Bible where it says, "If it be your will to," is only when Jesus was crying out in the garden of Gethsemane, and there you only say, "If it be your will," because in the Bible, I tend to agree that when it says that healings occur, I tend to agree that it's always God's will. Like I don't think it's never. People always pray from a position of if it be that will, but if you pray while being in doubt, I don't think it's gonna work. Well, that's I said a lot of things right there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you gotta have, that's like the fuel, the faith.
Yeah, in the book of James, it says that you have to pray while in faith. Like you don't. Oh my goodness, my bad. Alexa, be quiet. Sorry.
Is it?
Like the thing turned on.
Oh, Alexa. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
You know the Alexa thing. My brother got it. I don't like it, but my brother got it.
Thing creeps me out. My friend had one, and we mess around with it, but I'm like, that thing's not coming in my house.
The only reason why it's in my house is because my brother's got it, and I live with my parents. So it's like, what can I do? But what was I saying?
Well, you know what? I gotta go though.
All right.
Thank you for calling in. I'm tired.
I was shy, I just called in, but I'm pretty shy.
It's okay.
I was kicking in my boots here.
I mean, I'm glad you called. You know what? You gotta talk more then. I used to be really shy too, and that's one of the reasons when I was a theater arts and music major, and when I was younger, that's one of the reasons I got into it, because I was afraid to speak in front of people. And I mean, honestly, it's cheesy. It sounds, the more you do it, the better it gets. So public speaking is the number one fear, all across the board, all around the world. And the key to that, you just have to do it more. So I wasn't judging you, no judgment here. You know.
Oh, I like you very much. Like you're very you think a lot, and I think anybody who does that is on the right something, right trail, or how do you say it?
The right path?
The right path. There
Yeah,
you go. Thank
yeah.
you.
Well, good luck, man. Let's get through this. Let's you know, good luck. I hope your brothers have a little bit more like courage to stand alongside you, and you find more people around you to like you know, you find more people to help you. What I'm trying to say, you find more people to stand by you, because I know it's kind of lonely for the people that are, you know, have the guts to speak out. So anyway.
It is. All right, I'll let you go. I might call late. I might call some other time. I mean.
Oh yeah, no worries. Okay, cool. All right, guys, I'm about to bounce. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Peace to you, love. Bye bye. Mwah. Turn off the Skype.